What's up? What's up? What's up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of the PrimeTime podcast. This is PrimeTime James Thomas, who, by the way, is the QC Cup champion. By the way, won my first championship a couple weeks ago. So yay me.
You
And
gotta put yourself over like that.
what's that?
You gotta put yourself over like that.
You goddamn right. It's PrimeTime podcast. I mean, it's yeah, but.
All right.
But yes, we are here for another edition. I'm here with Mark, of course. Hopefully, everyone had themselves a great WrestleMania weekend, and of course, a happy Easter for those that celebrate Easter. Hopefully, everybody had a happy Easter, which happened on WrestleMania Sunday, which was again very weird. First thing first, though, you don't do that again. Let's take it back to early April, late March, please.
Facts.
Yeah, because it was weird. It was weird. And please be sure to hit that like and subscribe button. And yeah, hopefully everyone's doing it okay. Mark, I know I just asked you this, but it's for the show purposes. How are you doing tonight?
It's Wednesday night. You know what that means. Time for another edition of AEW Dynamite. No, I'm kidding. But I'm all right, man. I'm all right. How are you?
Man, I'm living. That's enough for me. And by the way, if for those that do watch Dynamite, if y'all feeling nostalgic, especially for the down south 90s rap, Master P was on the show tonight.
Make them say,
Yeah, shout out to Simeon. But yeah, man. Yes, we are finally. Well, we still got Friday on SmackDown that will conclude the aftermath of WrestleMania, but we are finally done with the WrestleMania weekend. And boy, what a very interesting weekend it was. You got we got higher execs and wrestling companies crashing out. You got wrestlers being drunk, falling asleep at the Hall of Fame shows. You got wrestlers, you got female wrestlers, damn dance like strippers at strip clubs. It was crazy. It was absolutely crazy.
it's none of my business.
I mean, it was out in the public. It was out in the public on Twitter. Like everybody saw it. You saw it. I know you did. But
This ain't about me. This is about the Rock sabotaging WrestleMania.
We'll get to that. Don't get me wrong. Well, we will get to that. He was a very big part of the controversy surrounding WrestleMania.
Yeah.
But first off, WrestleMania 41 has now passed, which took place in Las Vegas. Last week we did our predictions, and me and the fellas, we did watch Mania both nights. And gotta say, for me personally, I thought the show was alright. It was cool. Definitely underwhelming in some parts. Night one, we can all agree, was very underwhelming. Had some good parts, but we can all agree that the best match of the night was a triple threat match between Seth Rollins, CM Punk, Roman Reigns, when Paul Heyman has linked up with Seth Rollins and betrayed both Roman Reigns and CM Punk, which I thought was a brilliant finish to the match. Overall, night one was a dud. Night two was leaps and bounds better. That's when you had the triple threat match, Io, Rhea, and Bianca, which, by the way, in my opinion, was the best match of the weekend. Best match of the weekend. Got Drew and Sassy. They had a very entertaining street fight.
That's Damian Priest, by the way, people, if you didn't know, because I know some people don't know who Sassy is. That's just
Damian Priest, yes.
And
Dominic Mysterio winning the Intercontinental Championship in an entertaining Fatal 4-Way match with Finn Balor, Penta, and Braun Breaker. And we had I never thought I would live to see the day where I would say the TNA World Heavyweight Champion was on a WWE show at WrestleMania, no less. If you told me 20 years ago that Jeff Jarrett was going to be on WrestleMania 21, I would say get the fuck out of here. But 20 years later, we had the TNA World Heavyweight Champion Joe Hendry make his debut against Randy Orton. Randy Orton Open Challenge. That was a historical moment for obvious reasons. At the return of Becky Lynch, teaming with Lyra Valkyria, winning the tag team championships. And then we got, of course, John Cena defeating Cody Rhodes for the WWE Championship for the 17th time. We'll get to that in a second. But yeah, I thought WrestleMania 41 overall, it was okay. Could have been a lot better. But I think after what I know about what happened behind the scenes, I know, Mark, I know you hate this, but this man, I'll get to that in a second. It was okay show. It could have been better. Mark, what was your overall thoughts on WrestleMania? And what was your favorite match or favorite moments?
Well, before I give my 5-hour rundown on the pay-per-view or premium live event, I just got to say what's up to the chat real quick, man. What's up, Wolverine? Is 5'3". I don't know why you got your height just out there in the public like that if you 5'3", but hey, do you, bro? Do you? Or woman. I don't know your gender, so I'm not gonna
let him embrace the fact that he's short. Let him embrace it.
I mean, hey, bro, be a short king out there, though. You feel me? Be a short king. Ain't nothing wrong with that, man. Who was that one basketball player who was dunking on people, bro? What's his name? Lil Spud, bro. And I'm not talking about Rockstar Spud, Drake Maverick. I'm talking about, what was his name? Spud Williams?
I know what you're talking about. I can't think of his name right. I think Muggsy Bogues, I think.
It was somebody. Whoever. Just, hey, shout out to the Short Kings, man. Shout out Tyler TY8 or Tyler Tate. I don't know how to pronounce that. But shout out to you, bro. Shout out Markobi. Know what I'm saying? That's my twin right there. Shout out Apollo Crews, man. Where you been at on main event, bro? You been chilling? You good? Motionless Zombie, my boy. I don't know how a zombie stands still like that, but shout out to you, bro. That's what it was. Spud Webb, that's right, Spud Webb. Nate Robinson was a Short King too, though. Real talk. But anyways, back to the main topic on it. I just want to show love to the chat real quick. I thought WrestleMania, both nights were cool, right? Well, let me chill out. WrestleMania night 1 was kind of bad to me, personally, in my opinion. I thought night 2 was a big step up, and the main event was kind of a letdown with how everything turned out, which we'll get into that later on in the show, obviously. But obviously, my favorite match of the night for both nights was the triple threat match between Io, Bianca, and Rhea. That match was insane. For something that was only like 14 minutes, maybe 15 minutes at best. That match was crazy, bro. Obviously, we all saw it coming, but it was still cool to see the Seth Rollins and Paul Heyman alliance. That was sick. We got to follow up to that on Raw. That was awesome. So, yeah, I mean, there was moments from WrestleMania, but I think the biggest thing was the Cody and Cena stuff, and that just kind of, I don't know, it kind of left a sour taste in people's mouth because it was the last moment you saw at WrestleMania. And it just kind of, kind of a letdown.
MG, what'd you think of WrestleMania?
I think night 1 was, there weren't necessarily bad matches on night 1. It just wasn't exciting outside of the main event, but then the finish was kind of telegraphed. We kind of all knew that was coming. Night 2, the excitement was there. Probably the best match of the whole weekend was the women's triple threat match to open up night 2. The fatal four-way for the IC belt, second best match of the whole weekend, if you ask me.
Oh, that was so fun.
And then honestly, I think the rest of the best matches from the weekend came from NXT. NXT was pretty much good from start to finish. So, the sour taste after the main event in night 2 with Cena and Cody, that definitely doesn't help. This Mania for me is kind of weird, right? Like night 1, not much excitement and kind of just mediocre for most of the show, and then a great main event. And then night 2 was like the complete opposite, where it was like turned up the whole show, and then you get to the main event and it's like, oh. So I'm gonna give it like a 5 out of 10. It's like right in the middle.
Yeah, I could definitely say I'm right there with you. It was right in the middle with me. Yeah, I definitely agree. Night one. I mean, night one from a wrestling standpoint wasn't bad. I mean, yeah, you had Jey Uso, defeating Gunther by submission, by the way, which I thought was kind of crazy. You had the New Day defeating the War Raiders, which we mostly don't care about that. Jade Cargill defeating Naomi, which I actually thought, wasn't bad. Wasn't bad. Oh, shout out to Naomi. She was carrying the hell out of Jade.
I mean, Jade had some moves in there. That
she
little
did. She did that when she
spin
caught her from
around
the
power
crossbody.
bomb.
Oh, and the power bomb. Yes, that was good. Jacob Fatu and LA Knight, I thought was one of the better matches of the show. I thought they had a really good match.
Yeah. Well, night one was about the Samoan family, basically. All the Samoan family were on night one. Naomi,
Jacob was on night
Jay,
one.
Jacob, was all night one.
Yeah.
And of course,
what though? If you look back on, I'm sorry, but I just want to say this real quick. If you look back at this year's WrestleMania, even if you didn't enjoy it from like just an entertainment standpoint, I think they made all the right decisions. And I mean, it was relatively safe, but they made all the right decisions with who won the matches. No one came out like, they shouldn't have won that one. It was like, okay, they played it real safe, but it was all the right choices.
Yeah, I guess the way I can put it is, night one, there wasn't really anything memorable. That makes sense. Like, there wasn't anything like 5 years from now, I'm gonna be like, oh yeah, I remember that match, or I remember that moment from WrestleMania 41. There wasn't really anything memorable.
So you didn't think Heyman turning on Roman and Punk was memorable?
No, Monday will always forever be the moment that everybody talks about.
Yep.
Because of the way they did it, and it was too telegraphed.
Okay, yeah, I can see why you say that.
Had we not seen it coming, then yeah, it could have been. But Monday was far more memorable.
And for those, and to elaborate what MG's talking about, what happened on Monday, which by the way, Monday Night Raw After Mania was definitely a really good show. Definitely the best Raw After Mania we've had in years. You had Seth Rollins, who was now with Paul Heyman, and Braun, and they've now recruited Braun Breaker into their group. So I think this establishes Seth Rollins. Can we say he's the top heel in the company right now?
He's the top man in the company.
Second is Cena. Is the top heel.
Well, yeah, technically.
Yeah.
Cena is, and he's holding. And here's the problem: until Seth is involved in that title belts picture, it will always be secondary. Anything else he does will be secondary to that. That belt is the important belt.
This is why I hate two titles. I understand why they do it, but I can't stand it because it's like, no matter what you do, I mean, you could go out there and have like the craziest matches for that belt. People still gonna look at it as, here's the constellation prize belt that they give people. Like, I don't like that.
The minute Cena told you that's the belt he's trying to take home, automatically made that the most important belt in the company. Yeah, it just lets you know what really matters.
Okay, you can say that, but I'm just saying, like, with
no, it's the fact. John Cena ain't go out there chasing the world heavyweight title. He didn't say, I'm gonna go take the world heavyweight title home with me. No, it's the WWE title, the one with the history, the one with the lineage. That's the one that matters.
Well, MG, I don't know if you saw the original WrestleMania plans, but that was almost the case.
I don't know. It
Well-
was Cena and Cody still. What you mean?
Well, the original plan, well,
It was either going to be Punk or Rollins versus Gunther, but
Oh,
but
yeah, you're right. You're
Cena
right,
and
you're
Cody was always already locked in. So
Oh God, don't man. Well, we'll get to that in a second. But Seth Rollins, is with Braun Breaker, which is great for Braun Breaker because this means he's going to be now elevated into that main event level. Because we all know Braun Breaker. Well, some may not know, but Braun Breaker and Paul Heyman have been working really close together behind the scenes, and I think this is going to elevate Braun Breaker. Hopefully by next year. He will be either challenging for the world title or he'll be the world champion himself. So really excited to see where this leads for Braun Breaker. And how'd y'all feel about Jey Uso finally winning the World Heavyweight title in the manner that he did? And what do you think is going to be next for Jey? And what do you think is going to be next for Gunther?
oof, that's a tough one. I mean, dude, here's the thing, man. I'm not finna sit up here and tell y'all Jey Uso is the greatest wrestler of all time, and he's like, up there with, I don't know, Prime Shinsuke Nakamura. No. But what I am gonna tell you is that Jey Uso is the man right now in terms of popularity. I don't care what people say on the internet right now about Jey Uso. The crowd is telling you a whole different story. When he comes out, he's the man. He gets the best reactions. Everyone is talking about Jey Uso. You see everyone heating. Everyone's got the merch. He's the man. So they put the belt on the right guy. Now, in the manner that they did it, I don't know if I like that. And now I've seen Gunther's match before where he tapped out with Dragunov, and he tapped out instantly. So I'm starting to wonder if that's like a ring general character thing where it's like, as soon as you get me in a submission and I know I'm not going to get out of it, I just tap. Has like, you got me. Not as like, oh my God, Jey Uso's got me in this crazy lock and he's hurting me so much. It's more like, you got me. I'll tap before you end me or something like that. I don't know. Because go back to remember when Gunther was fighting, was it Damian Priest or somebody else, where he tapped the mat like 3 times and everyone thought that he either tapped out or something, but he didn't. I don't know if y'all remember that match and who it was against, but he does certain things in matches where it's like, I don't know if everyone else is understanding what he's trying to convey or what, but I still think they could have went about that a better route. Maybe just have Jey Uso beat him with like 4 splashes. You know what I mean? Instead of making him tap out. Just kind of felt weak.
That's right. I think they should have went just to splash them.
Yeah, but I mean, Gunther's not finished. Like obviously, what they did with Gunther on Raw, he's in good hands. He's fine. He's completely fine. Also, before I pass it over to MG, I do want to say this real quick. It's Takeshita on AEW right now. I'll check it out later, Dom. But we gotta start giving y'all. Gotta start, James. You gonna have a smile on your face. You finna be showing all 32 teeth when I say what I gotta say.
Okay.
Y'all gotta start putting some respect on that boy Seth Rollins. All right, I'm gonna just lay it out right now. That man is the workhorse of Monday Night Raw. That man has been carrying that company on his back. He may not be the number 1 guy. He might not even be number 2. But he's the guy they can always count on to get the job done. No matter what they throw him, he's there. He has been undoubtedly, in my opinion, the undisputed workhorse of that company for, I don't know, the past, 6-7 years? No one has been more consistent than Seth Rollins. Tell me when I'm telling lies.
Well, I mean, I don't know if you saw that part of the Rock interview, but Rock has said himself that that Seth Rollins is WWE Superman.
Well, I take back what I said because I don't want to be associated with The Rock. So never mind. He's awful, man. He's the worst. Yeah, he's the worst, man. I was just joking.
I mean, of course it's me. I'm gonna agree, but that's why I say that Seth Rollins kind of deserved that win because, like you said, Mark, the man, you literally give him something, he's going to make the most out of it. Like, again, he was pretty much the reason that Cody Rhodes got over, right?
Yeah.
You name a better person to put it in the ring with when his freaking pet got torn, and he still went out there with Cody and gave one of the greatest Hell in a Cell matches of all time. Like, that was Seth Rollins that did that. Seth Rollins, he's the one, regardless how you feel about the World Heavyweight title, he did his damnness to make that belt mean something. And of course, what he did last year at WrestleMania, wrestling with pretty much no knees. Like he is, he when he retires, people are gonna look back on it and appreciate him a hell of a lot more than he is now.
Oh, they're gonna miss him, bro. They're gonna miss him because they don't understand like how much he's done for that company. Like, in a sense of like, people may say, "Oh, Cody Rhodes wrestled twice at WrestleMania. He's not special. He was the MVP. He was the star, right?" I would argue that Seth Rollins was the bigger like star of that night, or the MVP of that night, not the star. Cody was the star, obviously, but MVP of WrestleMania 40.
Seth was the MVP.
Rollins. Look, Cody may have wrestled twice. Seth Rollins wrestled 3 times. He wrestled 3 times. Like, and no one has more moments than Seth Rollins of the current era. Nobody has more moments, like game-changing moments, like era-defining moments in this current modern-day era than Seth Rollins. And Oblivion, I understand it. You ain't gotta like Seth Rollins or nothing like that. But I'm just speaking the cold hard facts about his position, what he's done, what he's contributed. He's the MVP. He's the MVP.
To this very day, even though I'm personally I'm annoyed with it. Even in the triple threat match, they had to reference it. I'm annoyed with the Shield callbacks, but a simple chair shot to the back, they stretched that out like a whole decade.
Yeah, the Shield chair. Yes, not a regular steel chair. I want to know what that chair made out of. That's what I want to know.
I guess that's the most famous. Listen, in 20 years, that steel chair is gonna be in a mausoleum. Like, it'll be a random steel chair. This is the one that hit Roman Reigns.
Just look, son. There's the Shield chair that was used at WrestleMania 4. Yes, there it is. But no, I'm so sorry. We just went off on a tangent about Seth Rollins glazing that man like a donut. MG, what was the question you had for us, bro, about Gunther and Jey Uso or something?
Yeah. How'd you feel about Jey Uso winning in the manner that he did, and where do you see, and what's next for Jey and Gunther in the future?
I don't mind the finish, because the story in the match, they didn't do a good job of telling it, especially on commentary. But the point of him choking Gunther out was because that's what he did to Jimmy right in front of him. So it was supposed to be a callback to that, but they didn't really do a good job of explaining that on commentary. So I don't mind it, especially considering the fact Gunther don't really tap out anyway. I mean, he don't really lose the submission that often, right? We can talk 2 times in the matter of like 6 years. So, it hasn't hurt Gunther's character before. They still protect him, so I don't really mind it. As far as Jey, I mean, it was right time. He got built up to being the most over person in the company. Went through everything with the bloodline and became a solo star. It was the right time. I'm not going to sit here and act like I'm a big Jey Uso fan, but it was his time. It was his time. You give him the ball, see what he does with it, right? Moving forward, I think Gunther goes to SmackDown. I think there is more for him because there's really
everything on the Raw.
Yeah, and the thing is, SmackDown is going to need a top heel because Cena's not going to be there every week. And and Seth now being, the top heel on Raw, you kind of need a top heel on SmackDown because they're obviously not putting Drew in that particular spot. So, I would say Gunther heads to SmackDown. There's probably, some fresh matchups over there for him. Whether it be like a Jacob Fatu or whether it be somebody else, but I mean, there's really nothing left on Raw for Gunther to do.
So you don't think they're setting up for a Gunther versus Pat McAfee match?
Yeah, but what does that do? What does Gunther do after that?
When is the draft? Is it an official when the draft is?
That should be within a couple of weeks, probably right after Backlash, I would guess.
Yeah, because I know Backlash is on the 10th, right?
Yeah, so my guess is it's probably the week following that or 2 weeks following that. But I mean, still, he wrestles Pat McAfee, and then what?
Yeah, there's
nothing
nowhere to
left.
go unless he fights Michael Cole 2 out of 3 falls or something.
And on top of that, if he beats he beats McAfee, what does that do for Gunther as a character? That's nothing. The man was just world champ. The man's been a champion literally like 95% of the time he's been in the company. Him beating Pat McAfee does nothing. It's just more so one of those funny, entertaining things because we get to watch McAfee take chops from Gunther.
Yeah, I can definitely agree with that because I don't think. Because I think with Jey Uso, looks like they're moving forwards with a story with Sami Zayn. So I don't know how Gunther's going to fit in that. I don't know how Gunther's going to fit. Well, he could fit, but I don't think he will.
Well, because here's the thing you kind of got to figure. With Seth and Heyman and all that, eventually, by the time we get to SummerSlam, more than likely they are going to be involved in that title picture somehow. You can't come out and be the top heel group on the show and then be chasing something else. Dom's got the IC belt, so they're not going to be chasing Judgment Day because they're both heel groups. The only place to really go is to chase Jey Uso, right? Because Roman's probably taking a vacay after Backlash per usual. So that's pretty much where we go, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's really nowhere for Gunther to fit into that. So, yeah, he probably heads to SmackDown.
I think that'll be a good change of scenery for Gunther. And, I would not be mad at that at all.
And probably takes Ludwig with him because Tiffany's on SmackDown.
Well, I mean, can you even say they're still a duo? We ain't seen them in months.
No, but again, we know WWE likes to keep couples together on the same shows.
Yeah. Well,
they're probably the only couple that isn't on the same brand.
That's true. Oh man, but yeah, man. So right now, let's go ahead and talk about the John Cena Cody Rhodes match. This, which by the way, I don't know. You know what's so crazy? The only matches that went over at least 20 minutes. Because keep in mind, like the Seth Rollins triple threat match with Seth Rollins, CM Punk, and Roman was 30. That match was 32 minutes. Cody Cena was 21 minutes. The only match that went longer than both those was Tiffany Stratton and Charlotte. A lot of these matches were short, which I thought was really interesting. Very interesting, actually. But so Cody Rhodes versus John Cena. A match that a lot of us was curious about because we wanted to see where this would end, how this would land, and a lot of people walked away disappointed. A lot of people walked away disappointed, feeling that the match was underwhelming, feeling the match didn't live up to expectations, and they thought the ending, the finish, was universally panned. A lot of the fans did not like the finish. Not necessarily Cena winning. People had no problem with Cena winning. It was how he won. It was how he won that people had a problem with. For those that didn't watch Mania, pretty much the finish was Cody Rhodes did the crossroads with Travis Scott. I guess that was his quote-unquote receipt, I guess, whatever. And then they had a tug-of-war with the belt. Cody grabs the belt. And then there was that morality factor where, Cena did the heel, begging off whatsoever. And Cody wanted to be the good guy, doesn't hit Cena with the belt. Cena low blows Cody, hits him with the belt, 1, 2, 3. And a lot of people felt that's it. And notice there was no Rock. Get to that in a second. But for me personally, I didn't mind the match. I thought it was a classic old school heel versus babyface match. Like it was a lot of working in the crowd, very slow pace, which you could expect. Because let's be honest, y'all, John Cena, look, the man, his birthday, like he just turned 48. He just turned 48. It's safe to assume that we're not going to see the same John Cena that we saw back in the U.S. Open Challenge. That John Cena is dead and gone. Okay, it's going to be a lot of slow-paced matches now, which again is kind of messed up because like when he had that back four with CM Punk, he was looking like his old self, but that's neither here or there. But I didn't mind the match. They were working the crowd. The crowd was deeply into it. I just didn't like the finish. I think it could have been a way better way for Cena to win on a shitty way. But I didn't mind the main event. I didn't mind it. Mark, MG, how'd you guys feel about the match?
I don't know. It just kind of felt lackluster. I know we're going to talk about the whole Rock stuff and everything, but if I look at the finish of that match and just how everything went down.
Hey!
What's wrong with Quez, bro? Why does he do this? Why is he like this?
This man get chased.
Man get chased by the cops and decide, you know what would be a great thing to do while the cops are chasing me? Join the PrimeTime podcast. That is
No, that was wild.
Bro, I thought I was still backstage.
No, you were being chased by the cops apparently.
Yo, are you okay? You cool, bro?
I'm not asking.
I'm fine.
I'm not finna be an accessory to anything this man just did.
I'm just driving home, man.
And you decide to join while you in a high-speed pursuit.
Yeah.
Why are you saying that? Why are you even saying that on the internet? That's crazy.
You decided to join as you're being chased on the internet.
Bro, they were right there, bro. Like this man Quest was on a 6-star warning right there.
If I turned on the news right now, I'm gonna see you in your car being chased with a helicopter right above you. I did.
Oh, okay. All right.
Let's
reset. Let's reset. What Quez, you wow, bro. But yeah, but Mark.
What's up? I was trying to say what's up.
Well, what's up?
That's all he had to say.
Stand up and say what's up.
You feel me? No, where was I for real though? I actually don't even remember what I was saying.
You were talking about the scene.
You were saying the match was. You were talking about how the match was lackluster.
Oh yes. Thank you, tag team partner. Yeah, the match was pretty lackluster in my opinion. It was mainly just Cena beating up Cody, which is fine, but I don't know. It's kind of felt like the soul was missing. No pun intended. And if you look at the ending. I said no pun intended. If you look at the ending, though, yeah, come on, man. But no, like the ending, dude, was like they could have easily just waited to turn Cena to a bad guy that night. I think his heel turn would have actually hit harder. I feel like everything that we know now that went down and why Cena's bad guy persona has felt kind of weak is because it wasn't supposed to even happen in the first place. And then it just became like a secondary thing because it was like, oh, we can't do this because whatever is going on, so we're going to do this instead. And they pulled the trigger too early. I think they should have let like some mystery into that, right? Like, imagine Cena and Cody. We get the same segment. Let's say we get the same exact segment from the Chamber, but take Cena out the equation, right? Don't even have Cena in the equation. You could have
The Rock.
No. I mean, you take Cena out of the ending shot of the Chamber. Take him out of it, right? And then you just throw in Cody and The Rock. And Cody still says the exact same thing he told The Rock that same night about selling his soul. And we don't see Cena, right? We don't see Cena at all. Maybe it ends with Travis Scott and The Rock just beating the piss out of Cody Rhodes. Fine, whatever. You get to WrestleMania. We don't know what's going to happen. You got two good guys going in there fighting each other. And then at the end, Cena kicks him low, hits him with the title after he threw. Mind you, the match, if you look at how the match went, Cena was almost like a babyface in a way, fighting against Cody. I'm throwing everything at Cody, and I still can't beat this man. He doing AAs, super AAs. He pulling out the 5 moves of doom and doing them slowly, and he still can't beat Cody Rhodes. And so at the end, if you would have just did the same exact thing you did at the Chamber, but did it at WrestleMania instead, it would have went crazy. That would have been the craziest thing anyone has ever seen. But no. They had to do everything at the Chamber. And I think that's what threw off like that entire bill, because we still would have had some mystery about, well, who's going to sell their soul to The Rock? Who's going to do this? What's going to happen? And Cena would have did it. We would have found out on the Raw after Mania that The Rock was behind Cena's driving point because he was so hungry to be a 17-time world champion. He stooped to the absolute lowest that he could to get it. But that's just me, though. That's just me and my inner fantasy booking coming out there. But yeah, like overall, I thought the match was subpar. The ending was lackluster. Like me and MG talked about, it left a sour taste in people's mouths. And even if you enjoyed the show, if the final thing that you see, let's say you're watching a great movie, you love everything about the movie. Once you get to the ending and it's whack, you kind of feel like the rest of the movie that you saw, even though you enjoyed it, was a waste of time. And that's kind of how I felt about Mania. What could have been the biggest and greatest, most spectacular, craziest moments, ever for WrestleMania just became predictable, soulless, and an advertisement-friendly WrestleMania that happened to have some good matches on it. So those are my thoughts about that whole situation.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to talk about the match without talking about the Rock stuff, just because they're so intertwined. I will say, I think there's a couple pieces of blame to place here. Obviously, we'll get to the Rock stuff, but I think the way the match was constructed, with the original idea of Rock being there. And part where I'm going to blame Triple H is I don't think they changed the structure of the match once they knew Rock wasn't going to be there. And I think that's why the match came off that way. I do think originally the plan was for Travis Scott to come out and then The Rock come out. But obviously that didn't happen. And so I just don't think they changed the structure of the match. Because I think the purpose of the way the match was structured, it was supposed to be Cena versus himself. Hitting every single move and still kick out at 2. That's what we always used to say about Cena. Right? So I think the intent of the match was to make Cody still look super strong in the process by him kicking out of everything, and then Cena resorts to the other measures to win it, knowing that he's a heel now. But there's also the original plan for the match, which didn't need to involve The Rock at all, which they just they went that route. So I didn't hate the match itself. It's just the finish and kind of knowing what we know now. There's just a lot of politics going on that have affected the way that this story has been booked. And it's really, really starting to become pretty evident. I'll get to it when we get to the Rock segment, but I think there's some things that people aren't even realizing that are kind of very evident of kind of the way things are happening. I'll leave it at that. I'll leave it at that. But I think there's and I think it affects a lot of people than just Cody and not I'm not talking about just Triple H.
I'm yeah. Arlo, what do you think of the Cena Cody match?
I mean, like what everybody else said, it was very slow and plodding. I think they really tried to put on an old school match. You really could have used some like blading or some color for that if that's what they were trying to do. Because I think the match was just like random. He would just hit random AAs, and then Travis Scott took 5 minutes, and then the match was over. And just like that just felt super weird as a match. I don't think The Rock. Maybe they did, but I don't think The Rock was ever going to be there. In his mind, he's like, oh, this is good. I can finally leave. I do think The Rock come back at WrestleMania. At SummerSlam. He said, yeah, I'm done. Like, I think he's like throwing people off a little bit. He also threw that. I think we'll talk more about The Rock later, but there's a couple things he said that I'm like, I think there's a little bit more. Like, I don't think they would just throw Travis Scott out there during WrestleMania for no reason if they didn't have like something that The Rock's going to be there as well. But yeah, this is just old school as it gets, and that this is the way they chose that Cena's going to win the belt, and I think they could have done a lot better and a lot different, but that's just me saying that, and The Rock, but
yep, and with Cena winning the heavyweight championship, he was on Raw. He is scheduled to be on SmackDown as well this week, and he pretty much he cut another promo where he's shitting on the fans, saying he's the last real world champion, and he says it was 27 dates. I do like the little calendar thing where it's counting down to his last appearances. And shout out to Quiz. And last Monday Night on Raw, they teased Randy Orton and John Cena when Randy Orton gave Cena the RKO. So it's looking like at Backlash, which will be in Randy Orton's hometown, John Cena versus Randy Orton one last time for the WWE Championship. Fellas, how do you guys feel about seeing Randy Orton and Cena one last time on the road on the John Cena's retirement tour?
Man, that match's gonna be absolute dog water, and I'm here for it. I'm so here for it. Cena and Orton, sign me up. Mind you,
man, those entrances are gonna be crazy though.
They're gonna be nuts. The roof is gonna come off the place for Randy Orton. We already know that. I'm someone who I didn't get to see the Cena and Orton feud like that. About time they started like really going at it, I was already out the door. I wasn't watching wrestling no more. The only match I saw from them, to be honest, was the was it the unification match at TLC? That was the only one I saw, was that match. But I knew they had been feuding and stuff for like a decade at that point, but that was like the only one that I had seen. So for them to run it back for someone like me who isn't like too familiar with like their whole rivalry, I'm here for it, right? Everyone knows, everyone in a mama know this match going to be just downright awful, right? But it's the legacy, it's the importance of it. It's the two guys who are, no doubt about it, future Hall of Famers, right? Maybe multiple time Hall of Famers going at it for the final time for the biggest prize in the industry. Like, you can't really beat that. So yeah, I'm here for it, 100%.
Yeah, I'm definitely here for it too. Now, as for me,
I don't know if it's going to be the final time.
Really?
That don't sound good.
Well, we got 2 weeks of build to this match, but then who's Cena wrestling at the next show? Who's Cena wrestling in his last match?
I think he gonna go away for a little bit.
All right, so I don't necessarily think this is the last time we get that match, because they're gonna have to have something for Cena to do, especially with Punk kind of being tied up with Seth and Roman and Heyman and Braun Breaker now. So,
well, as for me, as someone who was pretty much there from the very beginning with the John Cena, Randy Orton feud, to keep in mind, I was in the trenches. Those were some dark days. But yeah, it is a little bit of nostalgia, seeing that the two OGs in the company still going at one last time. Cena on his last run. Orton plans on sticking around. I think Orton said he plans on, like he said he planned on signing another contract when his contract is up. Like this man Orton may be going until he's 50, which is crazy. But I'm down for it. If only Edge was around for this, it'll be even better. But yeah, I got no problem with it. What about you, Arlo?
There was 3 things when I got back into wrestling. It was like Hornswoggle. It was Hornswoggle. It was Shawn Michaels, and it was Randy Orton versus
What type
John
of
Cena.
list? What the?
Those are the 3 things. Jeff Hardy. It's my honorable mention. Jeff Hardy as well. But those are the 3 things that I got back into wrestling when I took like a break. Those are the 3 things that were like a constant in WWE for the longest. And there was never a time where, like, from 2000, like, 6, 7 to like 2010, that John Cena and Randy Orton didn't wrestle 3 or 4 times a year consistently. And sometimes it was like 12 or 13 times a year. It was way too much. John Cena always won, so it always crushed me. And it's going to crush me again because John Cena is going to win again. It's probably going to be a bad match too. So as a Randy Orton fan, this is going to be tough. But finally, he's getting another title shot. I'm happy for that, I guess, because Triple H have not been putting him in the title matches and stuff like that. So, and he gets the main event again. So I guess I'm excited for that.
Well, what about you, MG?
Great answer, honestly. That's
yeah, I mean, I'm going to say it best. I mean, I'm excited for the match itself. I mean, we kind of know the outcome, and it's only on short build, 2 weeks. So I'm hoping this isn't the last match. I hope there is like at least one more.
Yeah.
But the crowd is going to go fucking crazy in St. Louis. Randy's a baby face this time around, and Cena's a heel. Like, that crowd is going to go crazy for Orton. And this is probably just what people need to really kind of get the John Cena heel turn thing to stick. Maybe. So, yeah, there's really not much to it. I mean, all we got so far is an RKO. We kind of know the history, but there hasn't really been any back and forth between them yet. So kind of got to wait to see what happens on SmackDown.
And then speaking of Randy Orton and Cena and Legacy, notice someone was absent from Monday Night Raw. That is the former WWE champion Cody Rhodes. Apparently, it's looking like Cody is going to be taking a break for a good amount of time, which are well deserved, especially considering the run he's been on these past. Pretty much ever since he came back from his pec injury, the man needs a break. I expect to be possibly back around SummerSlam time. What do you see next for Cody Rhodes after his loss? Expect to come back with his hair jet black and get a more edgier Cody Rhodes, or do we expect or do we expect the same old goody two shoe Cody Rhodes to climb back to win back the championship? What's next for Cody Rhodes? Mark, Mark, you've seen this episode plenty of times, but what do you think is going to happen?
Why? Listen, I don't want to relive that, to be honest. It's kind of like how Arlo said with being a hurt Randy Orton fan back in the day. I'm not trying to relive that. Like, I'm sorry, but you know what's funny? I would say that Cody would come back as like a edgier person, or maybe even a heel if a certain Pebble had it their way. But with how many people are like turning heel right now, I don't think that's even on the table, bro. Like, I don't know if y'all realize this, but we've had
a lot of people turn heel this week.
So many heel turns. I think we kind of good on it right now. Like, just kind of pump the brakes on those heels, please. I don't know if Cody's going to be out to SummerSlam though. I don't think it's going to be that long. They're going to want their franchise player back. It's so weird saying Cody Rhodes, franchise player in WWE in the same sentence, even still, because from what y'all told me and seeing him in the other company, like, I don't know. It just seems kind of surreal to say that. But like, if he's out until SummerSlam, they got to plug him into something that's major. I don't know who that could be. I don't think they're going to run back Cena and Cody at all. I wouldn't do that personally, but if they got a good plan for it, go for it. But what's next for Cody? I don't know. I really don't know. Hopefully it's something meaningful. Maybe even a move to Raw could help him. But then again, maybe on SmackDown would be better if MG saying Gunther goes there, because that's been like the one thing that I think we've all wanted, is that program, like a real program between Gunther and Cody. I think that would be sick. So, I mean, if they do that, I'm cool with it. But I don't really know what they have next for Cody right now.
I think Cody Gunther or Cody Drew.
I like it.
Because that's the other few that we kind of been waiting to happen.
You stole his pick. You stole his Fave 5, man.
That was my prediction that I just thought of 5 seconds ago. Damn it.
Why you in that man's head 5 seconds ago, MG?
But
that's the only person I thought of.
There's something with Cody that he ain't turning heel.
No. Well, that one is a stupid thing to do. Turn that.
Well, not just that, but again, some of these dots are starting to connect with some information and shit. We're finding out Cody is Triple H's guy.
Oh, clearly.
That's funny.
He is Triple H's guy. So there's just some of these other some of the shit we just really can't really get into until we get to the fucking shit with the Rock and all of that. But I don't think Cody turned heel.
That man's not turning heel anytime soon.
And on top of that, I think the thing they got to do is they have to. I didn't have a problem with the finish of the match in terms of Cody not using the belt, but most people have a problem with it. So you kind of have to write something here that kind of saves Cody in that sense, so he doesn't look like a complete idiot.
Well, you
Good
know,
luck.
the one thing they could have did to solve all of that would have just been low blow before the belt even gets involved. He's down on the ground, then Cena comes in, hits him with the belt before Cody even has a chance to grab it. Like, you
Yeah.
know, but
Well,
they
again,
didn't write it that way.
I think they didn't change the structure of the match.
No,
I think the
they
original
didn't.
plan probably called for Rock to slide the belt in there for Cody to use, and Cody decided not to use it, and Cena uses it instead.
Yep.
Well, they
But
could
they
have used
didn't
that with
change the.
Travis Scott.
Yep.
I don't think they
Yep.
changed. I don't think they changed the structure of the match though. Once they knew Rock wasn't going to be there, that's
Well,
on Triple. That one is on Triple H.
Why not just have Travis do it? Like, he's the surrogate for the Rock at this point.
It wouldn't have meant anything.
I know, but like
Travis was supposed to just get the F5, the
Yeah, Travis
crossroads,
was
and
supposed to get
that's it.
fucked up. Yeah,
but like you, dude, the whole this is my bro. I'm getting PTSD from 31 build up. This is my title. No, this is my title, and they're doing a tug of war with it. And then Cody's like, I can't hit you, even though you just beat me up in front of everybody with Travis Scott and The Rock. Like,
but again, they didn't change their plans. Like I don't think they changed the structure of the match. I think the original structure of the match, Rock was going to be there, and Rock was going to slide the belt in, and it was going to be. They never changed the structure of the match, and so what they came up with was stupid. That's on Triple H. Triple H ain't absolved in all of this because there's things in this that he could have definitely done differently. So, but the way that match was structured, it was to protect Cody as a wrestler. Obviously, with him kicking out of like 19 AAs, they were trying to protect him, but in doing that with the finish, they made him look stupid to a lot of people, to most people. So there's some damage control to be done.
damage control. You said it.
Hilarious.
But yeah, go ahead, Arlo.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I think you think he's gonna be out till SummerSlam? I was thinking draft, and then we don't. I don't know where he's gonna be, but if he's still on SmackDown,
There's no way he
fuck
misses
it,
Money in
true.
the Bank in June.
He gonna be in the ladder match.
He's not gonna be in the ladder match.
He gonna be in the ladder match. I said what I said, man. Well, actually, he might not be. I'm sorry, he might not be.
Well, I mean, this is Cody Rhodes we're talking about, man. When he ain't afraid to put himself in dangerous situations.
That man is dead center front of that Money in the Bank poster.
Yeah, he'll be back. He'll
be in the match then.
Yeah, he'll be. Yeah, I said what I said.
Now that I think about it. You think that's where they put CM Punk and John Cena, Money in the Bank?
Why not?
That's SummerSlam.
Play all the greatest hits right now, bro. Why not?
I said they might be waiting for SummerSlam for that.
If only, bro. If only Money in the Bank was in Chicago, that'd be perfect.
Cena might even miss Money in the Bank, bro. Like I'm not even sold on him being there. Because if he ain't got but 20-something more dates, those dates go by faster than you realize. So he gonna have to miss one of these pay-per-views, or before someone snipes me from TKO premium live events. So I don't know. If only Cope was there. Well, he's not there, so keep coping.
Yeah.
It's gonna be really interesting to see what they do with Cody, especially the run that he's been on.
You have to do Punk and Cena at Money in the Bank.
Yeah.
You have to.
It's a little tough right now, bro. They kind of intertwined into like the biggest story on Raw right now. And this dude, okay, can we talk about this for a second? There's no point in doing a draft this year. There's no point. Why even do that? Why? CM Punk is on Raw. That title is a SmackDown title. If we gonna do that, why even have a draft? What's the point? There's no point.
CM Punk's going to get drafted to SmackDown.
He ain't getting drafted to SmackDown, dog. He ain't going.
I don't think they're doing that.
Man, you know how it's gonna go, bro.
Gunther.
With the first pick of Monday Night Raw, we select Seth Rollins. He's already on the show. Okay.
No, because you got to remember, Roman Reigns is going to get drafted to Raw.
Yeah, they're gonna make that move official. Even though he's been on there for like the past 5 months, but yeah, they're gonna make it official.
I'm saying Netflix wants Roman Reigns, but I think they want CM Punk and Cody Rhodes
Of
too.
course.
And they want John Cena, and they want Randy Orton. They want it all.
God damn it.
Yeah, just end it.
USA fucked up.
Yeah, USA, just get Carmelo Hayes. You good, bro? Don't worry about it. You got who you got.
LWO.
Hey,
Who says no?
why not, bro? Bring back the Lucha House Party. Let's have the Mexican street fight. I don't even know if that's racist, but I said what I said. That's just why not? Why not?
Make you cool, fam. Make you cool. Are you and Paul Heyman friends now?
Hey, listen, amigo. You know that's crazy. He said that, by the way. I need the lottery roulette WWE draft back. That would be cool, but they're not gonna stick with it. I don't see the point in a brand split. The only reason they even have like a loose soft brand split is because they have 17 million titles. If it wasn't for that, I think they wouldn't even have it. They don't know how to stick to it. There's no point.
And, you know, and kind of like switch to another subject here. I remember, Mark. This was like right during like the height of when AEW was having their backstage problems. It was leaking out all over the internet whatsoever. I remember, Mark, you said, if you don't think the same thing's happening in WWE right now, you're lying to yourself. And slowly but surely, we're starting to see the cracks right now. You got, the Rock Triple H thing, that's potentially going on, which we're about to get into. Apparently, the women's locker room can't stand Charlotte, i.e. Nia Jax. Bayley is looking to get out of her contract. I don't know if y'all saw her interview with Chris Van Vliet.
Great interview, by the way.
It is a great interview, but you can really start to see that Bayley is starting to feel underappreciated with the company, especially considering what happened at WrestleMania. Apparently, they legit pulled, like, Triple H said, no, it's all part of the storyline. Bayley is pretty much like, no, they legit just pulled me out and just put Becky in, which are like, well, damn. Which, by the way, too, I just want to say, if y'all was going to turn Becky heel on Lyra, you could just did that at WrestleMania. Like, why would you give them the belt only to lose it the next night?
Because Becky wasn't going to lose on her return. That's why. That's literally it. Becky was not about to lose on her first night back. That's.
I mean, but she could have. Oh, okay, all right, bro. Yeah,
but see, at that point, you don't book a random tag team and then replace the woman who was supposed to be in it with Becky Lynch. At that point, you could have. I don't know, man. You could have waited to have the match on Monday Night Raw and then have Becky Lynch come out after Bayley's found backstage hurt. And then instead of teaming with Lyra, she beats her down. I don't know. Listen.
Yeah, there's drama back there, bro, and it's starting to show.
I'm cool with drama. I think it's always baffling to me that people get surprised when it's wrestling and a coworker hates their other coworker. I always find that jarring because, like, in real life, in everyday life, you have coworkers that you don't like. Everyone does. You have people you just walk by and they say hey to you and you're ready to DDT them. Like it bro, it is what it is. But for some reason in wrestling, it's like, what? You don't like her? What's your problem, man?
Yeah, it's I it seemed like to me ever since TKO has kind of, stepped in. Because when Triple H first came in, we was hearing everything's all hunky-dory backstage. Everyone's getting along. Everybody's happy. And it doesn't matter. Have y'all noticed that ever since TKO came in, more and more people starting to, insinuate that, oh, well, hey, my contract's ending. You never know. More people are teasing leaving than ever before now, ever since TKO came in.
Well, that's because, like someone said when they were on the other side, a certain Pepsi drinker said, the grass isn't always greener on the other side. That's all it is. Dude, okay, put it like this. I don't know if you noticed it, but I totally noticed it. The moment TKO took over WWE, the moment it happened, the people who were like really like tribalistic towards like both companies, WWE fans, and even like people who weren't tribalistic, they started acting like WWE like nothing they did was wrong. Everything was hunky dory. It was all great in the neighborhood, right? Because they were untouchable. They just signed the deal with Netflix. They getting all these sponsorships, and so people wanted to ride with the winning team. That's pretty much all it is. And so every chance they got, even people who didn't even care about AEW no more, they always would say, oh, AEW sucks. WWE is so awesome. Everything's great over here. We got TKO. We got money. As if they work for WWE or something, right? Now you fast forward to now, and you're starting to hear all these rumors and speculations about what's going on and The Rock and Triple H feud, which, by the way, we got to give MG credit for that because I don't think anyone talked about that. I think MG even brought up The Rock and Triple H stuff was going to happen when TKO first took over the doing company.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so he already knew what was up. A lot of us didn't, though. Like, we were kind of in that honeymoon phase where it's like WWE is so awesome. We're going to buy some stocks right now. They can never do wrong. They're having the highest grossing attendance, sellout shows. Everything is so awesome over here. And so now you're starting to see those cracks are starting to show. Now everybody's starting to realize it's a new company, but it's the same old thing. Same old thing. You're always going to have issues like this, bro. It's never going to go away because a lot of these people, especially in the business, they really are the biggest. I really hate using wrestling terms, but shout out to my boy Ben. He going to love this one. Got a lot of marks back there, man. Got a lot of marks with a K, not a Q. I'm the only mark with a Q, okay? But the marks backstage are the wrestlers. And so they walk around, they're trying to get the advantage on their other co-workers. They're trying to climb the hierarchy. So people going to have their toes stepped on. People going to get a little upset when things start going not their way, right? Like you just said, James, Bailey is talking like she ain't saying it, but she's kind of saying it like, ooh, people are going to, because that interview she did with Chris came out, or it was done before WrestleMania.
Yeah, it was done before WrestleMania. Yep, and it was released like that Monday.
Right. So you heard what she said in the interview. She couldn't say much, but she pretty much confirmed, like, oh man, if the fans are mad about me being underutilized right now, just wait until they see what happens before WrestleMania. And she kind of stopped herself. Like, bro, it's a thing where you didn't get this kind of stuff going on for the first year when TKO took over.
Nope.
Because everyone was happy. They didn't feel like they needed to go to AEW or anywhere else to like be utilized. Now you got stupid comments coming out from Nick Khan. We don't bench people. We use everyone. Like, dude, I don't know. We could go on about, like, we could just go on and on about that. But no, like, yeah, well, everyone's going to be
not just that. Okay, but not just that. But you got Nick Khan saying crazy stuff. You had Triple H crashing out for like you could tell the pressure was starting to get to him.
Not the pressure, it's the criticism.
The criticism was getting to him
But I also think part of it is not just the criticism, but the frustration with politics of what's going on.
First of all, Triple H being the one frustrated about politics is crazy.
No, but I mean, okay, and I'll put it this way, and I've been saying this for years about why NXT Black and Gold was so great. Triple H is not necessarily the greatest booker per se. he has his flaws as a booker. But the thing that made NXT Black and Gold so great was Triple H listened to the people because Triple H wants to be loved. Say it's narcissistic as fuck, 1,000,000%, but I don't care because it led to the shows being great. When the fans started to boo somebody, he turned them heel. When the fans started to cheer somebody, he turned them face. He gave people the feuds that they wanted to see. He put the title on people who fans wanted to see hold the title. I don't think that part of Triple H has changed. I don't. He wants to be loved. He's a narcissist. He's going to give people what they want for that specific reason alone. But he's got politics to deal with.
It's very true, bro.
That is very true.
People, dude, no one talks about this enough. Like, I would disagree with MG a little bit, like in terms of Triple H being like a good booker. I think Triple H is better than he gets credit for. I think it's just like he is stuck with a bad writing team. I think like
yeah, his team in NXT was a lot better.
It was so much better. Like he could book stuff and tell them, "Hey, connect the dots here." Like whatever team he has right now in TKO, I don't know if it's like a lot of like the Rock guys or former guys who used to work for Vince or new people. I don't know, but I think Triple H has an idea, and he can't really just be like, "Oh, we can't do this and do that," because he has to report everything back to the Rock or whoever is above him. And in NXT, he didn't have that. It was his baby. It was his project. Vince just gave him the funding and said, "Do whatever you want, man. Just do whatever you want."
Because for the most part, we can honestly say the people who have kind of like started to really get cheered, Triple H is kind of pushed, right? I mean, it's the whole reason Tiffany Stratton got turned into a baby face to begin with. As much as we all say she should be a heel, she started getting cheered, and Triple H turned her.
Mm-hmm.
Io Sky, same thing. She started getting cheered. He turned her. Right? Like Jey Uso. Jey got over. Look where we are now. Like, so Jacob Fatu. You look at kind of the progression of that, how that's gone, right? So we can point to scenarios where people started getting over and Triple H started pushing them. Now, there's other cases where people just haven't been booked right from day one, like a Carmelo. Yeah, 1,000,000%. But, I mean, it's not like fucking Triple H has just been like shitting on everybody on the roster.
I just find it funny, and I 100% agree. I just find it funny how Triple H goes on a rant, talk about how he wishes fans would just be fans and enjoy the show, and talk about he misses the days when people didn't know what happened behind the scenes. Meanwhile, the day after WrestleMania, a whole trailer of him talking about, "We're going to peel the curtain back." And we see him talking to Jey Uso saying, "We're going to put the rocket ship on your back." I just think it's funny as hell.
You think that was his call?
No, that was not his call. He's
like, that's what I'm saying.
If you heard that Paul Heyman, Pat McAfee interview, Paul Heyman doesn't like the idea at all, but he's like, "Dude, the cameras are going to be there anyway, so you might as well just suck it up and do it." Like, that's the thing. I don't think anyone likes it, to be honest.
No, I think there's a lot of, and I get it. Triple H is the face of the WWE in terms of the executive side right now. He takes a lot of heat for shit that it's not even him.
No, he's just the guy that everyone can point a finger to because it's easy.
No, he's not. He doesn't have. He has a ton of power, obviously, but he's not the end all be all. Clearly, guys like Nick Khan and The Rock and Iron Man, you have more power. Like,
I clue him in at this point.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're doing this. Oh, okay. He's supposed to run the whole thing.
Yeah, I think it's just one of those things where, I mean, even if you go to look at something like we kind of know, like Stone Cold's relationship with the E isn't the greatest right now. Right?
Clearly, yeah.
We know Triple H and Stone Cold are pretty close. So it's not Triple H. That's the reason Stone Cold don't want to be involved.
By the way, what a waste of Stone Cold that was.
But again,
Yeah.
This kind of there's a bunch of stuff going on. Like we hear stories about got Triple H calling people personally, and Triple H seems to have a really good relationship with most of the talent.
Yes.
So I think there's some talents that nobody there's never going to be 100% of people that like you, but like even him and Bailey, like I think there is a plan for Bailey. I don't think this is all just we're taking Bailey off of Mania, especially for it to be planned this long ago. I don't think it was just we're just going to take Bailey off of Mania. I think there's a plan behind it. Is it a good plan? Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, 'cause I don't know.
Well, wasn't it stupid to have her go through a whole gauntlet and then just write her off the night of
Yep.
WrestleMania? It's kind of stupid.
I think part of the purpose is there will be a Bailey and Becky Lynch feud.
Yeah, if they tie it back to Becky being the one who attacked him, they can go for that IC belt.
I definitely think that's where this is going, because they're going to try to elevate the IC belt.
Yeah, you got to. Like that belt needs someone big to hold it, and it don't really get no bigger than Becky Lynch in the women's division. So,
well, not only that, but I mean, because Bailey spoke about it in the interview. Her and Becky are no longer Grand Slam champions because they added belts. And I'm pretty sure, right? They added belts, right? So, like, they're no longer Grand Slam champions because they added the IC and US belts. So, I think this is going to be that process. Becky wins that belt, helps elevate it, obviously, with her being Becky, and then Bailey wins it too. And they both end up Grand Slam champions. Triple H has been with Bailey from fucking NXT. And we know Triple H fuck with his NXT people from his original days, for real. So, like, I don't see Bailey just kind of getting buried in all of that. I just don't see it happening.
Well, I'll tell you this though. Yeah, Becky and Bailey will be fine. But
I would be more worried about Lyra.
Yeah.
Which I think, I mean, from looking at what happened last night, not last night, what happened on Monday Night Raw, I think all of this probably be to get Lyra over at some point because we all know they're really trying to get Lyra over, and Becky is clearly her one, supporter. But I'm
gonna just be honest, bro.
The crowd's not into her. They're just not into her, bro.
They never will be, and I'm gonna just be honest about the situation. This is something no one wants to hear. If you're a Lyra Valkyria fan or a Zoe Stark fan or whoever, the women's division is never going to have more than like 4 people on top. Everyone else will just be bottom feeders for the top 4. The top 4 will be who you have right now, and then when they start to get phased out, you're going to have Stephanie Vaquer up there. You're going to have maybe Julia or whatever. Your Lyra Valkyrias ain't going nowhere. And it's not her fault. I'm not saying she isn't worthy, but what I am saying is they have their favorites. And if you're not their favorites, which is in any company, you're just not going to be in that position. Yeah, you may get like a token IC title run or women's tag team championship. Bro, you may even get like the random one-off women's championship like Nikki Cross got, but you ain't never ever gonna be the top woman or anywhere in the conversation.
That's not your spot.
It's not.
People they already have that set in stone. I mean, this is people's job. Do you know how hard they are politicking in the back? There's only a certain amount of spots, and this is a business like that. And she's not. Bailey has a good spot. It's not like what she wants, but it's a pretty good spot. But Tiffany, Rhea, Bianca all overtook her, and that has nothing to do with her though. That just you need the next crew, and that's them. And even Cody, that happened to him when he got passed up by like Roman, Dean, Seth, and then he even got he got overtaken by like AJ and Finn too, and he's like, "What am I even doing? This is not getting me anywhere." So he had to leave. But I don't know if she's gonna be able to want to do that. But no, Triple H always had his favorites, and if you're not on his list, then you're just gonna get passed up. But Triple H does listen to criticism, and he doesn't really adjust as much as he used to in NXT. In NXT, he used to listen and like do like things what people want. He kind of still does that, but I think he like realizes it's a lot harder on Raw or SmackDown than ever one on NXT because all you have to control is like all these new fresh talent, who don't know shit. So it's gonna be
a lot
way
more
easier to
moving
just tell them
parts.
what to do. Yeah. And MG, one last thing, MG was talking about like, oh, they're gonna make this person a Grand Slam champion, Bayley and Becky. I think Charlotte's gonna get in there, and when Charlotte beats Chelsea, people are gonna be so mad.
Yep.
Can't wait to see that.
Oh God, I didn't even think about that.
But I mean, that's the other. But that's another person. Chelsea got over. He put the U.S. belt on her.
Which, by the way, Chelsea, like, and that's the thing too, bro. They don't. Once again, I'm not saying you have, because I know when I mention these names, people in the chat or whatever, they may get like a sour taste in their mouth or be like, "Oh, this person sucks." But look at all the women you have on that main roster who aren't at the top. Your Shayna Baszlers, your Zoe Starks, your Natalia's, Meechins, whoever the case may be, right? They're not even using them to fight for those titles.
No, they're
so
not.
Like, I can't even say Lara Valkyria is a bad IC champion because of her. It's not her. Chelsea Green. I think Chelsea Green does great character work, but they don't give her nothing. They paired her with I think Piper and somebody else, but like that could be a cool thing, but guess what? You're not doing nothing with it.
No.
Like that's the thing. They're not gonna put any stock into it, like until like what Arlo said, your Charlotte's win it or your Becky's win it. Then that's when you're gonna see those titles get elevated to whatever point they want them to be at. But as long as the mid-card people are holding them, no.
And to a certain degree, there is a certain level of fighting for your spot and not being complacent, which we have seen multiple times where it was like Drew was like, "No, I'm not doing this no more," and they came chasing him. They was like, "Nah, we ain't letting you leave, brother. We know Gunther wants to protect himself in his character. Cody, obviously, which we'll get into. Roman Punk, like Seth to a degree. Like you gotta at a certain point, you still also have to fight to protect your character and fight for your spot. And sometimes just doing what they ask you to do ain't the right move. And Bayley has admitted that herself. Like there's times where I should have said no in the past, which I think she's probably getting to that point where she's not going to be saying no as much, but from the position she's in, she probably could get away with it, right? Contract coming up in a year and a half. She's a vet. She's one of the more important people in WWE Women's Wrestling history. Like she's a Hall of Famer, right? So like, and I'm pretty sure her and Triple H are cool. So I'm pretty sure there's going to be that conversation that gets had at some point if it hasn't already, which I'm assuming that conversation probably just happened with everything that's going on this past weekend. That's why I said I think the Bayley like kind of feeling underutilized is probably going to change, because I think her and Triple H had that conversation when he brought the idea of Becky taking her spot to the table.
Yeah. I do see that being a possibility, actually, because I mean, why else would you have her get took out of the Mania match? Because I mean, if you don't have a follow-up, that's just kind of disrespectful. Not even a big Bayley fan, but like, you don't put her through all that, then just don't follow up. And like, like MG said earlier, bruh, a lot of people who have these, like the longevity stock in the company, right? You got to start kind of using that to your advantage. Bro, I even heard Maven, of all people, say this, right? When he was working there, he said like on one YouTube video, like a lot of times he never felt like he could go up and be like, oh, I don't want to do this, because he wasn't in the position of like a Randy Orton or Triple H at the time who could go back there and just tell Vince, no, I'm not doing this, bro. Are you crazy? Like, I'm not doing that.
Even Roman Reigns. Even Roman Reigns felt that way.
Yeah, and I mean, like, dude, this is why I try to like stay neutral with this stuff all the time and just say, hey, competition is great for both sides. If you feel like at a certain point you've like had it with wherever you're at, whether that's AEW or WWE, right? Then maybe if you feel like, okay, they're not going to listen to me. Karrion Kross even said this, bro. Karrion Kross said in that fantastic interview that he did, or promo, whatever it was, he talked kind of about it, about like, Goldberg telling him, be a good soldier, do this, do that. And they got him nowhere. He would try to pitch ideas. He would try to do stuff like this. And they would tell him, no, that's for people like Cena and Cody Rhodes and Roman and Punk, not for people like you. But you're doing a great job, Karrion. Keep doing what you're doing. And I'm pretty sure that was Triple H telling them that certain times, right? And so it gets to a point where if you feel like you not being heard and your ideas are just falling on deaf ears, maybe it's time to go to the competition. Go over there for a little bit.
Healthy.
It's healthy, bro. Make a better name for yourself. And whether you come back or not, that's up to you. But don't stay in an environment when you have other options now. For the longest time, like people like a Maven or people after Maven that I can't really think of right now, like they didn't have nowhere else to go. WWE was the only game in town because WCW was gone. It's not the case anymore. We could clown AEW all we want, but they are competition. Everything WWE does is to hurt their business. Point blank, period. Right? So,
especially that announcement with AAA. Yeah, it's clear and obvious that they're trying to hurt AEW.
Oh, they want nothing more than to see that company die. Like, don't get twisted.
I think part of the problem though is people like when you go to pitch stuff to the company when you're standing up for yourself, sometimes you got to do it in a way that just that works for both sides. It's not always just I don't want to do this or I think I should be doing this. I think that's where a lot of people go the wrong way. Like, okay, you as creative, you have an idea of a story you're trying to tell, and me, I'm trying to protect my character and make money and be on TV more. What's the middle ground on that? And I think like Karrion Kross at this point has found that. Right? Like him losing does not hurt his character right now. It actually helps his character.
Yeah.
You see what happened with the AJ match, right? Where he sacrificed himself to show AJ the way. Like it works towards his character, and sometimes that's how you gotta pitch shit. Like it's not just I don't want to lose. Nobody wins all their matches, but how can I lose in a way that helps your story that you're trying to tell as creative, but also keep my character protected and build my character up? Right? Like even with Drew McIntyre losing all of those times, it ended up working to his character of I keep getting screwed. Now I'm mad at everybody. Right? So like sometimes you gotta find the middle ground and stuff like that. It's business. You're not always gonna win. You're not always gonna lose unless you're Carmelo Hayes.
Damn.
Yeah, he gotta stand up for himself, bro. I mean, we talk about this with like Montez Ford all the time too. Like sometimes at a certain point you just gotta stand up for yourself.
I think Tez is we love Montez Ford here. Don't get it twisted, y'all. Or if anyone's from the East watching this, we love Montez. He's great. Angelo Dawkins is cool too, but
we're mad at Tez because he's too complacent.
He's too nice.
He's too good.
The thing is, I feel like no matter if he stood up for himself now at this point, because how long he's been there being a good soldier, it wouldn't matter. Carmelo is still young. He's fresh there, bro. Like you could stand up for yourself a little bit here, like you said with Karrion Kross, right? I guarantee you when they told Karrion Kross, hey, you're going to lose to AJ, that's all they said. It wasn't like anything extra. Karrion Kross, like MG said, probably found that middle ground and said, hey, that's fine if I have to lose, but just with my character, what if I put my hands behind my back to just signify to the fans who are watching, oh, this man sacrificed himself because of the story they've been telling about Karrion Kross trying to help people find their edge or the dark side in them or something like that, right? So just that little thing right there, that middle ground, like MG mentioned, it's healthy. because you're not making them go way out their way to like do a new story or anything. It's just a middle ground.
He needs to be Cody's next feud.
He should be Cody's next feud.
He
That would
needs
be
to
sick.
be Cody's next feud.
I can see that.
That would be sick, dude.
Especially with him getting over as a babyface. I mean, he's starting to kind of get over. Eventually, they are going to have to turn him because he's getting over. But he needs to be Cody's next feud. He needs to, almost like a trainer kind of, where he fucking pulls whatever type of edginess out of Cody is buried deep inside. Like it has to be Cross.
Yeah. That would be, dude, they could make that like until you find like that next big thing for Cody. That could stretch over like a few months, actually, to be honest.
Well, honestly, you know what? I honestly have Cody lose the feud to Drew first.
Oh, I would too.
You
He
give Drew that because Drew has earned that.
Oh yeah.
And then after Cody loses that feud, then you move into. You can even kind of plant seeds with Karrion Kross during the Drew feud. Like, yeah, Cody, you're not gonna be Drew if you don't bring out that edginess.
Yeah,
it's just not gonna happen. Like, so you can kind of plant the seeds. Cody keeps denying it, and he loses the feud to Drew, and then you move into a feud with Kross. You elevate Kross in the process, but then you also use that feud to bring out the edginess of Cody.
I mean, he beats the piss out of Karrion Kross, but in the end, like they could show Karrion Kross on the ground, like just laughing, smiling, like, yeah, I finally brought it out of him, right? Like, yeah, that would be sick, dude.
I mean, he's done a great job. I didn't even think about that because if you give them a reason, if you can just lose, they'll put you on TV. But you got to give them a reason for why you're losing. Because if you just lose all the time, you just suck. But if it's like part of your character that it just, makes you go more insane or makes you stronger in a certain way, then it's okay. But if you're just like losing to lose, you can turn into Shinsuke real quick.
Yeah. You're back, dude. I want to say this.
Honestly, I'd have him lose like the first match. I'd have him lose the first match to Karrion too. Yeah, you can just tell him, "I told you, bro. You're not gonna beat me. You don't embrace that edgy
like this, Cody. You can't win, dude.
You can't beat me like this." And then at the end of that feud, he sacrifices himself for Cody because that was kind of Karrion's Kross whole thing with AJ was like, "Bro, you got to beat Logan for the sake of the business."
And guess what? AJ didn't. You know what I'm saying? He did it, and so it costed him the match. Like
now, the thing can be Cody. You gotta embrace this edginess for the sake of the business. He was taking that title home. You have to embrace the edginess, bro.
Dude, people are gonna hate me for saying this, y'all. But I think Karrion Kross figured out the thing that Bray Wyatt never could with his character. If you really think about it.
There was more meaning behind there's more meaning behind what Kross does. Bray's was kind of more, it was good on paper, but there was really no like true meaning behind it in terms of unlocking something in somebody else's character.
Right. And I don't know if that was like a Vince thing at the time.
I think that was a Vince thing.
It probably was actually. Because
he had a lot of people join and then leave, like Daniel Bryan. It was 3 weeks.
Yeah, it didn't last
there's
long.
There's nothing for your group. It just makes it look like a joke. Like if you're supposed to be like entrancing these people and you can't do it, and they get out of it after 3 weeks. That's not gonna work.
But the only time, dude, I think that's the only time it kind of worked. Even though Orton was playing them, like to the fans, though, it was like, oh, this is cool. Like because Orton stuck with it for months. Like,
yeah.
So
that was probably his best feud.
Oh, easily, man. Still, man.
It's like individual. The group that had better, but his,
People like edgier baby faces. Like it doesn't have to always be. We always get characters that try to make people turn heel, but like it doesn't have to be Kross trying to get people to turn heel. It just, bro, stop being a fucking bitch. Stop being a clean cut baby face.
Yeah.
Like it's just.
Is that why?
Loud and clear.
Yeah, loud and clear, Captain.
Is that why fans have been booing Cody?
No.
Yes.
Oh, really?
The clean cut baby face.
I thought Cena.
People do, yeah. I mean, part of that is the Cena thing, yeah, obviously. But I mean, it's been happening before that, and it's because Cody is too perfect. He has no
Well,
flaws as a
that's
character.
what happened in AEW, by the way. He was too clean.
And the best work Cody did was the AJ Styles and the Kevin Owens feud. As the best work he's done as the champion. It was
He
those
had
two
more
feuds.
grit to him.
Yep. It's one thing to be clean cut babyface most of the time, but when it's time for the nitty gritty, bro, like you gotta throw that clean cut babyface out the window.
Yeah.
You don't have to, like, if you in the middle of a fight, that clean cut babyface stuff gotta stop. If it's just like a regular promo, fine, whatever. Right? It's kind of like what made Mick Foley so great. Right? Like Mick Foley is clean cut babyface as it gets, but when it was time for violence, it was violence.
He never held back, bro. It was like I'm a bring it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. I mean, even as a babyface, bro, he'll be willing to die.
Yeah.
bro.
I mean, but that's one of the things we love about combat sports, right? Like, you got some clean cut personalities out there in combat sports, but when it's time to get in that ring or the octagon, where
they kill it.
trying to break your nose, break your arm, like, let's go. It's violence.
You know, that's why I think if they ever turned, I don't know how they would do it, but they ever turned Gunther into a babyface, he would be huge, man, because his character wouldn't change. He would still be serious. Like when it's time to go, bro, it's time to go. Ain't no, I love everyone and I'll never hurt anyone. No. We kill it.
Yeah. I mean, look at CM Punk.
CM Punk has a grit, bro.
Yeah, in my opinion, I mean, CM Punk's a better heel than he is a babyface. He's just too popular to be a heel at this point. Yeah. But I mean, even as a babyface, he talk about breaking people and beating people up. Like, it ain't no just like, I'm gonna beat you for the title. No.
Yeah, dude, that Dream feud, bro. He was all
beat you for the title.
That's the thing, bro. Even when Cody showed grit, though, it's almost like it wasn't enough. Like,
yeah,
I don't know. It's weird with him.
But that's what people want to see out of Cody. I think that's the disconnect for a lot of people. He literally has all the tools. It's just he's too perfect.
Yeah, he is.
Which I think that's why that was a lot of Cena's point in his promos. Like, you're not being your true self.
Yeah,
bro. Everyone knows. I think if you've kept up with Cody's story at this point, you know the man could get down and dirty for real if he really wanted to. I've seen some of that heel stuff he was doing in I think was it Ring of Honor or Impact?
Ring of Honor, the Kiss the Ring stuff.
Yeah, like that was
the first time I looked at Cody as like a superstar. I was like, yeah, he figured it out finally.
Bro, once he dyed his hair blonde, it was like, what? Wait, who is this?
Wait, put the strap on him.
Let's have an Okada match again. Run it back.
Yeah, Cody coming out these weeks talking about some greetings and salutations, WWE Universe. That don't work for me, bro. You gotta come on, man.
He keep leading now.
Yeah,
bro. It's one of the bro. But like, so what do you guys want to talk about? Like, bro, we just watched you get destroyed. You know what we want to talk about? Let's just get to it. Sometimes you just got to get to it,
bro.
Yeah, they're taking their time.
They long gamer, huh?
Lead all time.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of a long gamer, let's get into this. So after a really good Monday Night Raw, it was so good. People have kind of like, Triple H he got on the fans' good side again after that Monday Night Raw.
He was trying to,
and people were still kind of pissed that The Rock wasn't there, but it was like, okay, all right, fine, cool.
No, we didn't need The Rock. That Raw was awesome, bro. If you hate that Raw, I don't know what to tell you, dog. Even if like you're not a big fan of those people, that Raw was entertaining, dog.
You know what's crazy, bro? That Raw had like 30 minutes of wrestling on it.
Yeah,
it was that good,
and it went by so fast. I was waiting for another hour. I was like, please give me another hour of this. Please.
And that's how crazy it was. That's how crazy it was, right?
So good.
And then I'll never forget this. It was like 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, in the middle of the night. News drops that Rock is going to be on Pat McAfee show. And already I'm like, oh boy. So The Rock clearly got tired of the criticism and he decided to go on the Pat McAfee show to explain his case on why he wasn't at WrestleMania. Okay. First off, he explains his involvement with the Elimination Chamber show and why he was there. According to Johnson, he was asked to participate in the Elimination Chamber by Ari Emanuel. Contacted him, the man who owns TKO, contacted him to help Rock to help boost ticket sales because ticket sales was low. Now I gotta stop right there. Oh yeah, it's bullshit, but like
ticket sales are low. Yeah, I bet
ticket sales are low. Yeah, ticket sales are low. But once again, read the room. These ticket prices, they're literally the cost to put down payment for a house, for a car. Like this ain't your mom and dad's WWF anymore, where it costs like $100 to get to a show. They cost like $1,200, like $5,000 to get to these shows now. It's ridiculous.
Let me throw this in there. If we're running a pay-per-view and Cena and CM Punk are in the main event, and let's not mention Sammy and Kevin in an unsanctioned match in Canada. We really think there's just a lack of interest there?
No, it's literally people are saying, hey, why would I spend $1,000 for a nosebleed when I can watch it at home on Peacock or Netflix? It's too much money. So they thought, like MG said, hey, I know how to drive up ticket sales because people hate your product so much, Triple H. I'm going to be on the show. I'm going to be there. Bet they'll show them now. Oh, dude. They are so tone deaf. They're so tone deaf. I don't know if y'all seen that video of Randy Orton.
Yep.
You seen it? Dude, he was even shocked, like, damn. That much what?
What was the Orton video?
It was some fans at I think they were like in a hotel lobby or something. And he may have just been finished like taking pictures with him or whatever. And they were telling him like, yo, like these tickets cost this amount of money or whatever. And Orton was like, damn, that's embarrassing. I didn't know they were charging like that. Like he was like,
he asked them where they were sitting because he thought they was talking about floor seats.
No,
like, no, we're not even on the floor.
Yeah.
So you think how much?
He was like,
bro, I think the ringside seats were pretty much only affordable for celebrities, pretty much.
Bro, they were like, for real, no joke, they were like $30,000 a seat. You not going to them shows, bro. I'm a casual UFC fan. I don't watch a lot of UFC, just every now and then. But I'm pretty sure that's the exact same thing that happened there. Is like once TKO took over, or maybe even before that. I don't know. Y'all watch more UFC than me, so you could tell me about it. But I'm pretty sure they started pricing out like regular fans to those shows at a certain point to where it was just cheaper just to watch it at home.
Bro, probably cheaper to go to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, dude. Like
pretty much.
Wrestlers have to like get their
WWE does.
Yeah, the same thing. Huh?
You know, like the they go to like international shows and stuff like that. They do that a lot too, and they get the site fee. So they only have like a handful of pay-per-views, and they jack those prices up like crazy. Every single place they go, they break the record. They just keep charging more and more. People keep paying it.
Bro, that's why y'all seeing more celebrities there every week. They got. I mean, part of it is the Netflix deal, but also the other part is, hey, look at all these celebrities. You can meet these guys at a Raw if you paid a measly $9,500 for a ticket. You could be sit next to them. You should show up or whatever. Like, and it's gonna get to a point where they're gonna keep pricing more and more people out. That'll cause them to keep jacking the prices up just to flex that, hey man, this was the highest grossing gate event ever. And every time they say that, the stock goes up and it's just happy business, happy life. Right? So it's unfortunate. Markovi says the cheapest tickets was 700 plus tax. Was that for WrestleMania or Raw? I mean, either way.
At the concession stand, brother.
Bro, so you not 700?
That was the sit at the concession stand, brother. Not even in the
arena. So you in the back when Jey Uso back there getting ready to come out to the crowd for $700.
Like, bro.
Oh like my God, dude.
Yeah, but and then on top of that, you got to look at. I mean, we've seen these numbers over the years, but who WWE's like actual audience is. It's not people with this type of money to just throw away.
No, man.
It's and regular, everyday, average people.
Like, bro, even if you have the money, you're not, bro. I don't know that many people that's just like, yeah, I'm just gonna throw away $5,000 a day. Like, bro.
God forbid you try to bring your kids,
bro. Jesus, man.
Your family,
dude. What WrestleMania 30 tickets? I'm looking at it right now. If you want to go back to WrestleMania 30, right, 100 level. So you're down at the 100 level. It was only like $900 per person. I mean, that sounds like a lot, but compared to where we are now, that's nothing. Like, it's not cheap, but it's nothing. Like, bro, then you charging fans. Okay, put it like this too. These are small numbers in comparison to like the ticket prices, but let's not forget, if you live in the States and you're not like international, you got to pay for so many different things just to watch WWE product. You got to have YouTube TV to watch NXT and SmackDown. You got to have Peacock to watch the premium live events. You got to have Netflix to watch Monday Night Raw. You got to have Hulu to watch what's the show? LFG. Like, bro, you need to have so much stuff. You're paying like $100 a month just to watch WWE programming. And then you want to charge people thousands of dollars to go to a show and then wonder, well, I don't know why people aren't showing up. Do you know why people aren't showing up? Maybe I should show up because I'm Dwayne The Rock Johnson. Like, bro,
And also, you gotta consider this too. You gotta consider. Let's talk about this WrestleMania just by itself. Not just the show, but you got flight, you got hotel, you got your food, your parking probably has to cost. Like bro, like all that stuff for WrestleMania, bro. People they're not gonna want to go to that and deal with all that, bro. Especially in this economy, bro. Like no. Fuck you! I'll just watch at home.
Like people
merchandising, exactly.
Yeah, dude. Dude, I told the panel guys about this. I don't know if you all know this in the chat. They obviously this was like for people who got money, but it's just kind of a symbolism of where WWE is right now in terms of their business strategy. They were selling John Cena like merchandise at the WWE World event. And granted, it was a one-time thing because this is like his last run. It was his full get up from either the Rumble or the Chamber. And they were charging $76,000 for that. Just to have the gear. Now once again, it is like memorabilia, right? So like it's got some value there. You can resell it, but they also have like belts there you could buy, like the Cactus Jack's belt. If you ever went to a WWE show like recently, right? So just gonna put this out here. When I went to the Netflix show, like their first debut, if you went to like the concessions area or like where they sell like the shirts and titles and stuff, right? they upcharge for that stuff compared to if you bought it on the website, right? So like, I think they had one of like the World Heavyweight Championships there. And I think on the website at the time, you could get that for like maybe $650-ish, maybe on the website. They were selling that same title, same thing, no difference, for like $1,200 at the merch department. And it's like, why am I being double charged? Like you ain't gotta ship it, nothing. It's literally right here. I can grab it right now and pick it up. Why am I being charged $1,200 for this when I could go buy it online for $650? Like, their business model is literally, let's charge the fans as much as possible. Because I don't know who said this, whether it was Arlo or MG, they're gonna pay it no matter what because they love the WWE. They're gonna pay it. And that's just how it is.
You gotta go to WrestleMania. Aren't you a WWE fan?
Yeah, like you're not a wrestling fan if you don't go to WrestleMania, bro. Like, come on.
You've been going for the last 12 years. You're gonna stop now?
Give us that $30,000. I ain't gonna
Ridiculous.
lie. If I'm that girl who got hit by the Rock, you already know what I'm getting. I'm getting them tickets for life. I'm gonna be next to the green shirt guy every single show. We gonna be best friends.
Oh,
I'm gonna pay my
Jesus.
mortgage with selling one WrestleMania ticket.
You got that right.
But anyway, so Rock claims that RMA will ask him to come to the Elimination Chamber to help boost ticket sales. Okay, and Rock explains the Sell Your Soul storyline that pretty much started this whole mess, that happened at WrestleMania. This is Dewey's words here. It was a litmus test to find out, in my opinion, how will fans respond if Cody sold his soul to the final boss. Let's get a temperature check on this. Let's establish it. Let's anchor it. And you come to find out there were a lot of fans who were saying, "Sell your soul." I don't recall that at all, Rock, but okay. I was an advocate for that. Not turning Cody heel soon, but eventually down the line. I like the idea of that because Cody is a smart guy. He's an intelligent guy. He's a ring general. And I think this idea of you give him a reason to turn way down the road, by the way, not based on titles, not based on this, but it's his soul, and what that means. It affects generations and transcendent beyond pro wrestling, and fans were loving it. He goes on to say, I knew then the best thing for the final boss, we've established this idea of Cody's soul. We could always come back to it. I did feel, and I made the call, I don't want to be involved in that. Step back, let the final boss step back to the shadows, and let all...
Pause. How close are you to your microphone right now? I'm just wondering. You're pretty close. It felt like you was in my room, like right next to my ear. I didn't want to say that because you was on the road, but
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. How's it sound?
Better.
Okay. Where was I at? Okay. He says, I'll just start back. I knew then the best thing for the final boss. We've established this idea of Cody's soul. We could always come back to it. I did feel, and I made the call, I don't want to be involved in that. Step back, let the final boss step back into the shadows, and let the spotlight go to John. Let it go to Cody. Let's not make it about Cody's soul eventually or John's soul. No, let them do what they do. I called John after Elimination Chamber, called Cody, and I said, I think the final boss work is done. We've established it. We've just pulled off the greatest angle in professional wrestling history, other than Hulk Hogan turning heel back in the 90s. I said, this is amazing. Now we have 6 weeks. Now let's build. You guys go and crush it. I'll be right there for you. I'm always here if you need me. I think it's best for the final boss to not be involved in this finish. He continued, I love the finish of the match. I would have finessed things a little differently on how they got there, but that's just me creatively. There's a lot of minds in the room. That's just my thought. But ultimately, the bottom line is I love John getting number 17. So pretty much to summarize all this, Rock was called in the Elimination Chamber by RML to help with quote unquote struggling ticket sales. And I'm guessing The Rock wanted to turn Cody heel. That's what whole sell your soul thing came about. I'm guessing Triple H and Cody both said no. How about let's have John turn heel? And then I guess Rock was like, okay, fine, I'll do it for this night. After that, I'll take a step back. Cody, John, you take care of this. Triple H, you take care of this. And I guess Rock wanted to put the focus on Cena and his title win. And also at the same time featuring Travis Scott, who was the only connecting point from Elimination Chamber to WrestleMania. So apparently, Rock was being the good guy here and was like, you know what? Even though I'm involved in this big angle here, I'm just going to take a step back and, yeah, you, Cody, y'all can figure it out. If y'all need me, I'm right here. A lot of people are saying The Rock is lying.
Big cap.
Nigga, you know a liar when you see one.
He's the new Hulk Hogan, bro.
Some of that shit don't even line up. Like, my nigga, they asked you to be at Elimination Chamber, but they didn't ask you to be at Mania.
He was mad about. Let's be honest here. He was mad at the fact that they didn't do the Cody stuff.
Mm-hmm.
If we're just being honest, once you found out they weren't doing that, I ain't say, yeah, I'm done. you can have Travis though.
I think there's a lot of things, like looking back in hindsight, that are starting to kind of make sense. I think there's a very specific reason why the match with Roman hasn't happened. Because he was going to lose it. The match with Cody was supposed, yeah, that was supposed to be Vince's way of like making Roman the GOAT. If you remember back to what we was hearing back then, right? That was supposed to be like the final piece to like make Roman the greatest of all time. He beat The Rock. You think Cody was gonna lose to The Rock, knowing kind of him and Triple H's relationship at this point? I don't think so. Rock pulled out at having that match too. Because here's the thing: The Rock has had multiple times to make the Roman match happen. It's never happened because of The Rock. Not because of Vince, not because of Triple H, not because of fucking, not because of Roman, because of The Rock. And when he came back to do the match with Roman, and the people was like, nah. Remember who got the pin on that night one of WrestleMania?
The Rock.
Why wasn't it Roman?
Rock's the final boss, man. What else do you want him to do?
From a story standpoint, considering Seth was wrestling hurt, why wasn't it Seth who got pinned? Would have made more sense.
Damn, that's
He's
crazy.
hurt. He goes into Mania the next night. He loses his title. He still guts it through in the main event to help Cody out, right? Like, so from a storyline standpoint, it would have made more sense for Rollins to take the pin. Or why didn't Roman get the pin?
Do you think it's possible? Actually, before I get off my point, I want to shout out Mostly Zombie because I actually could see this. He or she said that honestly, I think he's still salty about last year's Mania with him not facing Roman. And I could see that actually.
100%.
I could see it.
Honestly, Mark, I think that's what it is. I think that's what it is. I think The Rock is still upset about how last year went because
MG says all the time, The Rock didn't want to be a heel. He doesn't like to be a heel. This man came in, didn't read the room, pretty much put his dick on the table, saying, we're going to do this, right? Now, there are some conspiracy theories out there that Triple H and maybe Cody kind of went, no, Rock says he wants to do this. Nah, fuck that. Cody, you're winning the Royal Rumble, and you're going to point at Roman Reigns. Because if you look back on it, when Cody pointed at Roman, there was kind of a look on Roman's face when Roman was like, the fuck you doing? Like, if you look back on it.
Do you remember when I told you that about I thought he was going to face Seth at WrestleMania? Because I believe that was the plan when we found out about The Rock.
Yes.
But again, when I said earlier in this show, I think Cody is Triple H's guy. And I think a big part of this battle has been Rock versus Triple H and Cody. And I think,
yes, that's it.
And something else really connected the dots, like because everybody been talking about the roast of WrestleMania, right? Who was the person Nia Jax was taking shots at? One of the people. Cody. And what was she taking shots at about Cody? And being fake and being phony. What do we see at Raw? Pretty much. What did we see at Raw? What did we see at Raw on Netflix? Rock and Cody drinking tequila.
Being fake and phony, by the way. Just pointed out.
Who was Nia close to out of the Sabotage family? Of course. Rock. I think there is some truth to Cody kind of being fake and phony with The Rock at different points in time where they act cool. Well, it's probably both of them, to be honest. They probably act like they cool with each other, but I don't think they are.
I think the whole thing about like I want your soul isn't just a storyline. Like, dude, like you said, Triple H, The Rock, they don't like each other, but they're battling over Cody. Like it's literally Cody's soul. Like,
what reason did The Rock have to introduce a whole nother title for people's title?
He can't lose it, by the way, because he's not going to wrestle for it. So
it's not a real title.
It's not even, no, you don't understand. It's a title,
but it's the point of it.
Ali's.
Yeah, The Rock didn't just bring that title in just to like it. Everything with The Rock, there's some coded fucking message with it. Like there's some subliminal shot with it. Always is. That's what it is.
His big FU to Triple H is going to be when he forces him to turn Cody heel. Because that's what he wants. He wants nothing more than Cody to turn heel. MG, you said this, I believe, the day of Cena's heel turn, maybe the day after. You were like, bruh, I'm pretty sure Cody was the original plan here to go heel. So it's like The Rock wants only one thing out of this, and it's to give the FU to Triple H and say, hi, look, I made Cody a bad guy. That's my guy. I own his soul. They maybe even Ben pointed this out too, where I could totally see it. I can't believe I'm agreeing with Ben, bro. What's going on in the world?
Ben called it. Looking back with everything that's been going down, Ben has called this, honestly.
Bro, like, it's crazy because I could totally see a scenario where because we all watched the interview. We all saw the Pat McAfee interview. The only thing I took from that interview was that Triple H is like one finger snap away from being on the hot seat with The Rock. Because why else was he on there talking about, I'm watching this as a fan, and there was a couple of things I didn't like or that I think they could fix or tweak up, but overall, I thought it was a great show. That almost felt like someone, if you're familiar with corporate jargon, that sounds like someone been on like a performance improvement plan of like, hey man, we think you're great, but we could fire you because like you're not doing what we want you to do. You're not doing a great enough job here. So We're gonna need you to tighten that up, buddy. But overall, you're killing it, man. You're killing it. So yeah,
I think he's rubbing a lot of people the wrong way. Who's been in charge of the Bloodline story for the majority of the past 2-3 years? Paul Heyman. Here comes The Rock, now in charge of the storyline.
now it's dead.
Right? Like
That's
I think The Rock, and again, and we're starting to learn that Paul and Triple H are really close. A lot closer than we believed 2 years ago, right? Like we're starting to find out, no, they're pretty close, right?
Yeah. Paul Heyman's he's damn near Triple H's right hand man, damn near.
Oh, and so let me just kind of circle all of this kind of back together. I think there is a group of people within the E, Triple H, Cody, Paul Heyman, and I'm going to throw CM Punk in there because we know Punk and Cody are close. We know Heyman and Cody are pretty close. We know. I think those four right there are all pretty much. They're pretty close, and I'm pretty sure Heyman probably had something to do as a middleman with Punk and Triple H, kind of getting to the point they are right now. Right? There's probably a couple other people in there that we just don't know about, but I don't think it's. I think it's a lot more than just Rock versus Triple H and Cody, because I'm pretty sure The Rock probably was also referencing he didn't like the main event for night one. I would guess. Him and Seth don't seem particularly fond of each other. Him and Heyman don't seem fond of each other. Him and Punk don't seem fond of each other.
Well, wait a minute. Rock was putting Seth over heavy in that interview.
Yeah, he also put Cody over pretty heavy too. Don't feel genuine or authentic.
Interesting.
You see what I'm saying? I think there's a lot more to it than just Triple H and Cody. Because Heyman couldn't have been happy with Rock coming in last year and kind of just stepping all over his writing and creative of the Bloodline. Because Heyman's pretty much been in charge of the creative for the Bloodline. And here comes The Rock. Oh, nope, we're doing this. Me and Brian Gewirtz or Gewirtz. Nope, Paul Heyman, you take a step to the side, sir. Think Heyman was happy about that?
No, hell no.
You think Roman was happy about that?
Now,
Yeah, I'm gonna go play second fiddle to The Rock, and I'm the top guy in the company. You think Roman was happy about that? We never hear Roman talk about how he wants a match with with Rock. It's always The Rock saying he wants the match. Anybody ever notice that?
But MG, what did I say? What did I say during that time? I said, what have I said for the longest? Something happened between Royal Rumble and WrestleMania last year. You could visibly tell Roman checked out mentally.
Mm-hmm.
Something happened where Roman's like, you know what? Fuck this. He ain't been the same since.
Yeah. I think there's a lot more at play here.
Like you said, it could have been The Rock, or it could have been the fact that they've pivoted from Rock and Roman. But you can tell Roman stopped caring.
The Rock was kind of little man in him in a lot of that. We go back to the first moments, right, of the first promo after they had joined forces. Or The Rock was kind of little man in Roman in that promo. If you go back and watch that and remember. And as Roman, you're the top dog. You're the top guy. You probably feel a way about that. And we've never heard Roman say he wants to match The Rock, really, or campaign for it. It's always been The Rock. And at that point, Vince McMahon, who were campaigning for it.
What is and Arlo and Mark, if there's anything you want to add, just go on right ahead. But what is The Rock's seems like obsession with wanting to turn Cody heel? It seems like that's
control. Part of it is, I mean, obviously a grudge because of the things that have happened last year and then now. But I think a part of it is Rock wants control. That's how it always kind of has been, right? He tried to do it. Everything The Rock has pretty much got on board with. It's always been about control, right? He took over. He joined the Fast and Furious franchise, and he wanted Hobbs to be the star of the franchise. And Vin Diesel was like, no. That was a lot of the tension between him and Vin Diesel, if y'all don't remember. When we were here, they didn't like each other. He got to DC, and he wanted Black Adam to be the focal point of the DC universe. That shit got shut down. It's kind of a pattern with The Rock. And the minute something happens that it's like, no, bro, you're not in control. We're doing this. We're doing it this way. The Rock steps away. It's a pattern.
Quaz, anything you want to add?
What was the question? Or
How did you feel? How do you feel about The Rock and his comments on the Pat McAfee show?
scapegoating?
So you think he's intentionally putting the blame on Triple H?
He's pretty much saying straight up, like, if y'all didn't like the result of the show, don't blame me, because I wasn't there, and I told him I wasn't going to be there. Because I don't need to be involved in the storyline, and it's set up for Mania. They got it. So he just like creating the distance away from what Triple H and the rest of them got going on. And he just worried about his own thing behind the boards where it's safe. It's unfortunate because like all this incorporation with the storyline with this Cody and Cena stuff and Travis Scott as well too. And when things don't go your way, so to speak, and booking wise, you just like, nah, I'm gonna be cool. I'm gone. You took your ball, you took your Rubik's Cube and went home with it. So that's basically what Rock is doing. And like you said, he went on Pat McAfee so again just to save face. Say, I didn't do this, I wasn't a part of it, that was them. But if y'all need my help, I got y'all. And I'll be there. But Final Boss is gonna take a step back, which how The Rock presented that, we might not see Rock for a hot minute.
Yep.
Especially after how Mania was received back-to-back days. They had moments, but it was an overall great show. And people on the internet was calling for The Rock's head. And then going back to MG's testament, Rock does not like being the bad guy or being heel or not like having anybody like him. Like, he wants people to like him. So he's just going to create this as safe face, step back, and then come back later on when all the dust and cells dies down from the bad book, and hopefully it gets better.
What if this is just a theory of mine? What if The Rock, let's say The Rock has held this grudge against Cody and Triple H for a whole year. And he came, and this is why I named this is why I asked, did Rock sabotage WrestleMania? What if, and I think Mark, you already alluded to this, came in and presented the idea, let's turn Cody heel. After Cody and Triple H told him no, Rock was like, okay, watch this. Came out there, did the whole deal with Cena, and then intentionally sabotaged not showing up for Mania and not showing up for anything just to put the heat on Triple H so that way it could give Rock and maybe Ari Emanuel TKO a reason. I think I forgot who said it, like he's like a fingertip away from being on the hot seat. It gives him a reason to potentially fire Triple H, and then Rock and his team could come in and do the booking for the shows.
Well, that's 100% gonna happen. It's just a matter about when. That's really all it is. Triple H, they are using Triple H until they just feel like, whatever. Now I got my team in here. We finna run it. Triple H is just gonna be here until The Rock decides I'm done even trying to play the nice guy anymore. That's like I said, it's not even a if, it's a win.
Damn.
That's all it
He's
is.
gonna do that?
100%.
Yeah, I
I
think
don't know if
he's
he
got
wants to be in the weeds, but I
Not
think he
him,
wants to
but his
be in
team.
control.
his team.
Oh, I thought the main story he wants to control, all the other shit he don't give a fuck about.
No, but he'll let Brian or whoever that dude's name is and the people that he brings in, figure that out, and he'll just reap all the benefits when it's something that's good.
Yeah, the whole $7 production crew.
Yeah,
There
but
won't be a
Disney's so
single
great
McMahon
now.
in there, bro.
Well, let me say this too. Rock wants to be the champion again. Now I
Yeah,
might laugh and say,
Yeah.
well, it really would make a difference. He's The Rock. No. Again, I think he deliberately has bailed on the Roman match multiple times because he was not going to beat Roman. But I think last year, the plan probably was for him to beat Roman, which is why he's so mad about it.
Oh, he was gonna beat Roman. That's why he even teased it. I don't even think the line when he showed up to fight Jinder that night or like just beat up Jinder. I don't even know if he was supposed to say that.
Well, when
Like,
Vince was in control, Roman was going to win.
yeah.
But I think part of the plan was probably when Ari was in control at that point, and Rock probably said, "Yeah, I'm going to come in. I'm going to beat Roman. It's going to help business boom with me having the championship." That was probably the initial idea for last year. And then the fans said, "Fuck no."
Bro, you know who else probably wanted or wants Rock to be champion that no one talks about, and it's the biggest player involved in all of this? No one has mentioned their name yet.
Who you talking about, Nick Khan?
Netflix.
Oh, Netflix. Oh, yeah, Netflix.
Netflix, I guarantee you they have pitched the
Oh,
idea
Netflix, yeah.
that
Because
they Rock is champion. Guarantee.
do y'all want to know something else that's very interesting? As much as people always connect Nick Khan and The Rock together, do you ever really see them together anymore?
No, I bet Nick Khan said, man, this guy's a weirdo, man. I can't get away from this dude. This guy
And we were talking about it the other day about how close Triple H and Nick Khan have gotten over the years, right?
Yeah, because they know that
Yeah.
Nick Khan knows once Triple H is gone, he could be next, bro.
Yeah, I think that's one of those other names
Yeah.
we can talk about as in play with the power struggle.
I think Nick Khan goes whoever has power. So I think he's playing both sides. I mean, he's an agent. That's what they do.
Yeah, I just think it's very weird. We see him and Triple H all the time, but we don't see The Rock and Nick Khan anymore. It's just very weird considering Nick Khan was Rock's agent for all of those years.
And you know what? I'm just gonna go out on a limb here, and because the more and more I read this, the more I'm reading between the lines, could it be possible that when Rock came out and cut that first of all, you come out the night after Mania last year, and you're pretty much teasing that you want the championship, right? Then we don't see you again until Bad Blood, when he did the 1, 2, 3 thing, the throat slit, Cody and Roman looking confused, and then he disappears again. And then he cuts this weird promo on Cody about how I want your soul. First of all, it won't surprise me if The Rock did that completely, like, on the fly, like right there. I'm willing to bet when Cody came out there, he had no idea what Rock was going to say. I think that's why Cody looked so confused. I think that's why Cody and Roman looked so confused. We did the 3, 2, 1 thing because they don't know what the fuck Rock's going to do out there. And
They just stared at him.
They just stare at him, bro. Because we all know Rock. He's very notorious for just going out and just doing it on the fly, right? And I think Rock, especially with your soul shit, I think he intentionally was like, well, I'm going to start this. Triple H, yeah, you think you're the man? You go figure this out. And obviously, Triple H was like, I don't know what to do with this because, Rock, you're not here. Cena, his schedule is already fucked up because he's have to film a movie while we're doing this heel turn. That's what I'm starting to think. I think this man is trying to sabotage Triple H. He's trying to sabotage him. Yeah, I said it.
Well, I mean, in the process of doing that, he ruined WrestleMania, and he also ruined what could have been a generational heel turn, all in one swoop. I don't care. I don't care if The Rock is being honest or not. The problem is, let's say The Rock is being honest, and he's a long gamer, and blah 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 blah. You have to know this ain't working. This ain't connecting.
Yeah, the results are trash. Like,
yeah,
lie or truth, the results are not good.
Like, you need to do what your favorite word is, Rock. You need to pivot, okay? Because you can't show up at the Chamber, do the whole thing with Cena and Cody, and then just never show back up.
Yeah, when he became the centerpiece of the story.
Yeah, like you just can't do that. I don't care if the story has a payoff in the next 10 months when we get to like the Ruthless Aggression pay-per-view at the end of the year. Doesn't matter. If you don't show up in between that time, what's the point? Like, and that's my other point. If you weren't gonna show up at all, why even have Travis Scott show up at WrestleMania? I get it. The whole get back for the Cody stuff, but you had to know when Travis Scott came out, people cheered not for Travis Scott. In the wrestling bubble, people don't care about Travis Scott. Let's be honest. They don't care. People cheered for him because they thought the music was about to transition into The Rock. And it didn't. And so Travis walks down the ring like The Undertaker, walks all the way down there, no Rock, gets Crossroads, still no Rock. Cena wins, no Rock. And the only thing people talked about at the end of WrestleMania, night 2, which like we have all said on the panel, was a really good show, unlike night 1. The only thing people talked about that entire night was no Rock.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I'm saying.
Damage control. That's what it all is.
Oh yeah, that's all that was. He was just getting so much shit, and he's not used to getting that, especially from the wrestling crowd. He's like, "Wait, this is supposed to be my safety place, and you guys are shitting on me." I'm like, he didn't make any of that. He didn't make any of that better. He probably made it worse.
He definitely made it worse.
He made it worse.
He made it worse.
Because coming off the heels of a great Monday Night Raw, in which we know he had no involvement in, because we were just talking about earlier, Triple H looks like a fucking genius right now after that Monday Night Raw, right? Which part of that probably had to do with the Rock thing. Triple H was like, I'll show him. Because more than likely, everybody got wind of the interview within WWE that day, more than likely, right? So he probably was like, I'll show him, and now The Rock looks bad because how great Monday was without his involvement, and so now he does damage control. There's a back and forth.
It's so stupid, bro. Like, this is
2 years in a row now. This is 2 years in a row now where The Rock has done this. And here's the thing, okay? It's a damn shame too, because we said Triple H doesn't have that much control. If the Rock could do this next year, if he wants, and there's nothing he could do. And I think The Rock's ego was so bruised from last year. I think now he's going to try. He's low key going to try to ruin Cody. And the Seth thing is weird. The Seth thing is really weird with me. So I don't know how I feel about that. He's going to try to sabotage. Triple H. Now here's the real thing, though. Let's say The Rock does do what he planned to get Triple H out of here. We just said Triple H has a great relationship with the roster. How will the roster react to it?
I think a lot of them we've been hearing have not been happy with The Rock. Comes
No.
out, spends 30, 40 minutes on a promo, taking up time from the show. Yeah. He's allowed to say stuff on TV that they're not, which that part, whatever, it's The Rock. Like, he's going to get those allowances just like Stone Cold or Cena or anybody of that, like, caliber in wrestling business. They're going to get a lot more leeway when it comes to stuff like that. But
sure.
I think a big part of it is like people put in so much work throughout the course of the year, and then Rock shows up and everything changes on the drop of a dime. Because remember when we heard he was, the last couple times we heard he was coming back, it was like, oh, everybody found out at the last minute. Rock said he was showing up, and they had to make sure they fit him into the show.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much.
I think the problem right now is, I mean, Mark kind of mentioned it earlier. Rock is tone deaf right now. Rock is tone deaf. At this point, The Rock should not be inserting himself into major storylines. If The Rock is going to come back and do anything, it should be doing a major story with one person that leads up to a match at a Big Four pay-per-view, and that's it. He shouldn't be like, if The Rock was going to come back and start a feud with like Roman, okay, cool. We build this feud up from this month to whatever the pay-per-view is, and then we have that match. Rock goes away, but comes back later. Like, that should be the extent of it. But him inserting himself in other feuds that involve other people at this point, like, there was no need to insert himself in Cody Roman. There was no need for him to insert himself in Cody Cena. There was just no need. If it's not leading directly to the match with him, then why?
I think eventually that's the plan. I think my little conspiracy is like that heel turn at Cena was never supposed to be at Elimination Chamber. It was always supposed to be at WrestleMania.
Yep.
But they needed The Rock to show up. And because if he kicked him in the balls and that was his heel turn, hit him with the belt, 1, 2, 3, people would talk about like an all-time moment. But they just wasted it with The Rock at Elimination Chamber for some reason. But it wouldn't surprise me if Artie was like, we need to do something.
Yeah. Which that's the other weird thing because I mean, I said it at the time. One of the biggest heel turns of all time. You don't do it on Monday Night Raw or on SmackDown or at one of the Big Four pay-per-views. You do it at Elimination Chamber.
That was to sell those tickets, bro. And I mean, dude, I don't know.
But the tickets are already sold at that point. I mean, the heel turn happened at the very end of the show.
Well, Rock wanted to be involved with something that was that major.
Yeah.
Like,
but that's what I mean, though. They moved the heel turn was supposed to happen at Mania originally.
Yeah, I don't know if y'all were in here when I was talking about that. I was like, the way that match ended, it was the exact same way he turned heel. So it's like they literally, I think you even said this, MG, like they didn't change anything.
Match,
So like their original plan was, hey, Cena's gonna fight Cody and he's going to turn heel and people are gonna talk about this moment forever. But The Rock was like, no. If I'm showing up, we can't just have Cody, not sell his soul and then that's the end. No. We need something major to go down. And he never had any intentions on following it up. He just wanted his name attached to that moment. And that was it. And so that's why Cena's heel turn felt so weird because for like the next couple of weeks, every time Cena showed up, he wasn't even building the match to Cody. He was just, you people hurt my feelings. Like it was so weird.
I think that's why the Cena cutting the promo on the fans, I think that was what was always going to happen. That was the plan that they had planned. It's just that The Rock Mania, that's one. the promos you cut after Mania. But The Rock being there, that's one hell of a speed bump. You have to get over with that. That's why they thought, okay, the best thing we can do in this situation, Cena, just cut the promos you always gonna cut. Just don't mention Rock. Just don't mention him.
Because I'll reference that Triple H interview where he was talking about the Cena heel turn and kind of the process of how it came about. He was talking about, well, Cena realizes he's older, he's not as athletic as he used to be, and he's gonna have to do certain things because he's desperate to win 17. Right? That does not fit with anything involving how he turned heel and the reasons why he turned heel with The Rock.
No.
The reasons he turned heel with The Rock was based on the fans, right? So, like, you can tell, like, the story that Triple H originally wanted to tell was, and which is another reason why I said the match they didn't change the structure of the match, kind of like what Mark was talking about, was the match was supposed to be Cena breaking out everything, and he can't just put down Cody, the newer, younger guy. And Cena's getting desperate, so what does he do? To get number 17, hits Cody with the belt in the low blow. Right? And then Cena's whole reason was he was desperate. And then he can come out and start talking shit to the fans. But it all got twisted around.
Yeah. Cena wasn't there for 2 weeks. He was never supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
Especially for that heel. Like, you have to be there for that 2 weeks right before Mania. He just wasn't there because he was not planning on doing that. He's on Raw and SmackDown this week because that was a plan. He already had that blocked off.
And according to The Rock, they called I guess both him and Triple H called Cena and the one thing I've always said about Cena, he's not one to, push back. He just was like, oh, okay, sure, let's do it. I'm pretty sure even Cena had to have known that this doesn't really make sense, but Cena's always been the type of guy that never says no. So he went along with it. It's just that Rock. First of all, I'm sorry. Again, Rock is tone deaf. Again, you want to turn a guy in Cody Rhodes who is the biggest babyface in wrestling. He is their top guy, and you want to turn him heel for what? For what? I just don't. Rock's obsessed with turning this man Cody heel. It's fascinating to me. It's like this man is obsessed with this because it's funny how he says the final boss. Oh, the story of the final boss is done, but 2 times after he says that he mentions Cody's soul and getting back to it. Doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I mean, I don't hate the idea of Cody Rhodes turning heel at all.
I'm not against it either. It's just not
the
now.
Obsession. Like, I think you could do it now. Like I'm different with that. But I understand it. I just don't. Where me and you agree with it at is, I don't understand Rock's obsession with, like, we have to do it. We have to do it. If people are telling you we shouldn't, maybe you just shouldn't right now. Like, it's not even. Sometimes, bro, it's not about what you want, what The Rock wants, right? I'm pretty sure Rock has some good ideas here and there, but like every idea you have, man, isn't a gold mine. Nobody's is.
I just thought about it.
The story has to warrant it, like the Cody turn.
I just thought about it. No, I think I know. Rock, Cody turns heel, right? This gives Rock a reason to be a babyface again.
No,
well, he's trying, but it's not working.
It's not gonna work. But it gives Rock a reason to be a babyface again. That's why he's saying Cody's gonna get another babyface championship run with the belt, then turn heel.
I've heard theories. There's also theories out there about one of the reasons. There's also theories out there about one of the reasons the Rock and Roman match never happened. Not only because he wasn't beating Roman at the time, but he was supposed to be the babyface versus Roman. And now he's trying to be the babyface. He's trying to be the babyface versus Cody.
I don't think that's gonna work because
Cody, could he?
He
Exactly.
could beat Cody. But like,
exactly,
Jesus
Rock
Christ.
wants to be the baby. He wants to be the
Rock
baby
wants to
face.
be the
Go
baby
against
face.
the heel Cody. Go against the
But
heel
how?
Cody. And
You can't beat him though.
after you just had to look, okay, this is
No, I'm
why
just saying in general though, like, but that the Rock turning Cody heel isn't a new concept, right? Like, I think that's the thing. I think yeah, it kind of just got brought to light, but I don't think that was the first conversation about Cody turning heel that the Rock has had with WWE and Triple H. I think that
no,
conversation goes back to last year after Mania.
I just like, okay, here's my thing with this. Like, there's no possible way in any scenario where you can turn back to being a babyface after the Raw on Netflix. When you came out, yes, he was acting like a babyface. I just want to say that he was acting like one. But I think that whole thing with him and Cody backstage having drinks and a good old time and just being happy together, I think that was the start of him trying to get Cody to turn heel, because that was the start of, hey, I want your soul. We just didn't know it at the time. So how can you have Cody be the corporate champion and then you go back to being a babyface? I'm not saying that you can't have Rock be face, but after everything that's happened, how do you get back there?
Well, yeah, at this point you can't get back there. I don't think. But like again, when he came back for the match with Roman last year, Roman was going to be the heel. The Rock was going to be the guy, the hero who came to stop Roman from running the rush shot over the company. Right? That was what the plan was.
Mm-hmm.
If they were to turn Cody heel now, it'd be a similar storyline in the sense of who's going to stop Cody from running rush shot on the company. You think they're going to give that? You think they're going to give that to somebody else? Or you think Rock's going to book himself to be the one to beat Cody?
Yeah, see, that would be stupid. Like, it would just be dumb. You can't even, bro. The only scenario they have left themselves now, whether it's deliberate or not, is for Cody to turn heel. You can't do anything else. That's the only option you've left yourself for down the line.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, this is what the Rock. This is what he wants. Like this is what he always wanted. And I don't know if y'all can hear me. My internet was acting really funny there, but once Cody turned heel, so that way it gives the Rock an opportunity to be a babyface, can become the people's champion again, defeats Cody for the belt. Then we get the Rock and Roman match, and then we go back to where we were supposed to be in the first place. I think that's the Rock's.
That only
It's
works
too
if they
late.
That's his
turn
plan.
Roman heel, though.
Yeah, it's
That's
too
the
late.
problem. Roman's a babyface now.
That match
And
is
he ain't.
too late.
It's that specific scenario is over. The Rock is gonna have to accept if he's gonna wrestle Roman. It's gonna be against the babyface Roman. It won't be a heel Roman.
Mhm.
But guess what? What's the point of that now when Roman isn't the top like person anymore, right? Like,
Yeah.
Roman, when he still had Heyman, I think you could have got away with it. But like, there's
Yeah.
no reason for it now.
The only way that makes sense is if it's both of their final matches. That's it.
This man just ruined it all of wrestling, bro.
I was gonna say it's gonna be the Rock's final. I don't know about Roman's.
No, well, we know Roman's retired. We know Roman's leaving soon. Like,
Roman got 2
You know
years
how
left here, bro.
but that's what I mean.
Yeah.
Like, that's the only way it would make sense, where it wouldn't matter who's heel or who's babyface. It's just a dream match they're putting together. It's both of their final matches. They both go off into the sunset, right? Kind of
I don't
deal.
think
Like
he's retiring.
Taker, Shawn Michaels type shit, where neither one of them was necessarily a heel and babyface. They was just, we knew it was both of their last match.
I know Roman, when Roman finished, he finished. I'm gonna tell you that now. Ain't
Yeah.
no I'm coming back.
I think he's gonna be
over.
where Cena's at. You know, like he come back here and there kind of thing.
Maybe,
for a couple
yeah.
more
He
years.
might show up for like appearances, but I don't think he gonna be wrestling anybody, bro.
But
Like,
But
I
I
mean,
honestly
he's
think
gonna
that's
have like WrestleMania, some Royal Rumble, like not a ton, but like for a couple more years. I think he's not full time. You're right, but
I think that's been the big holdup for The Rock is, number one, Vince was gonna have him lose to Roman when Vince was still in control. That was supposed to be Roman's fucking crowning as the GOAT. That was the original plan for Rock and Roman. Roman beats Rock. He's now crowned the greatest of all time because he had already beaten Cena at that point. That was the plan.
So that's
Rock never wanted to.
So that's
Rock
why
never wanted to do it. He kept backing out. And the minute Vince wasn't in charge, and Ari was in charge, here comes the Rock. Oh, time to do the Roman match. And I'm pretty sure the plan was at that point, because now Ari's in charge. Yeah, Rock's gonna be the guy to take down the big bad Roman. He's the babyface. He's the hero to beat Roman. And then the fans rejected that shit and said, "No, sir." Do you remember the promo when he came out and was talking to Cody and all of that? He was like, he basically told Cody, "Look, I know you won and everything, but this is my job to take down Roman." That's essentially what he told Cody.
Yeah, he wanted to be the hero in that whole
Yeah,
thing.
and the fans rejected it.
Well,
Hey,
Triple
Cody
H
was
was
like
like
a
that shit
And now
too.
that he's not the hero, he don't want to fucking wrestle. And I honestly think the only reason he wrestled that fucking tag match at Mania is because he was able to get the pinfall.
Because I won.
It's very
that was
weird
the
that
whole
he was
plan.
the. Well, yeah, I mean the match itself was fucking great, and I'm not gonna take that away from The Rock, right? That match was fucking fantastic. He didn't blow up in the middle of the match. Rock, everybody showed out in that fucking match. But again, from a story standpoint, it made no sense for Rock to be the one to pin Cody on any level. Roman pinning Cody would have made more sense because it would have made it look like, oh shit, Cody just can't get one up on Roman and he's got to wrestle him tomorrow night. Or Seth being already injured, everybody knew he was injured. Seth took the pinfall, and then he goes into Mania the next night, already injured, already getting pinned. Okay, he loses the belt to Drew, right? Like so, like it's just very weird how Rock had to get that fucking final spot in and be the one to pin Cody for what reason?
Well, remember at the time, people were thinking, "Oh, what were people saying? Oh, this is probably going to lead to Rock and Cody either at SummerSlam or Mania." Like that was their reason. That's what people thought at the time.
Where he would have beaten Cody, correct?
More than likely.
You see again, when he ain't winning, he ain't showing up. That just proves my point. When he's not the hero, he's not showing up.
He just don't need to be there no more, bro.
Like it's right.
No.
Like it's right there. Like I think that's what it is. To be honest, I think his ego is bruised right now.
And if
Can't
that's the
believe
case, if that's
I'm
the
done with
case,
The Rock.
We done with The Rock, bro. It's over.
I can't believe it. I thought I never would say that. He was always top tier, but this shit
well,
is. This shit is
let me.
But again, I keep saying
it
this.
doesn't
He's
change the
done
fact
it
that The Rock.
He's done it everywhere else. He did it with the Fast and Furious franchise. He tried to come in and take that shit over, and Vin Diesel said, "Fuck no, bro."
But they
Dominic
got real
Toretto's the
life
centerpiece.
beef, don't they?
They did. I think they worked it out, but that was part of the beef. Vin Diesel said, "No, bro, I'm the star of the franchise, bro. Toretto, that's me. Fuck you mean?" He tried to come in when he was Black Adam and take over DC,
Look
the
how that
DC
went.
EU, yeah.
I
And
mean-
James Gunn took over and said, "Nah, bro, fuck that. You're out." Like
His movie didn't do that bad compared to other DC.
his movie bombed, bro. His movie
I mean,
was
compared to other DC, Shazam.
I mean, but he's Dwayne
No,
The
no,
Rock
other one?
Johnson. Like
that movie
Flash?
that movie set in motion that DC shit getting blown the fuck up.
I'm just saying DC's trash. I don't think The Rock's movie is like everybody's movie was bad in DC, not just his.
No. A lot of those movies were bad, but
Yeah.
his movie, based on the budget that they had spent on it, probably one of their 2 or 3 biggest like failures of a franchise movie. Like the budget for that shit was crazy. And he tried to
And
take
what did he
over and
do?
make him. He tried to make Black Adam the centerpiece of the DC universe. Like that was literally the conversation. He wanted him to be the focal point of the DC universe. He fights Superman, but like that was the whole conversation. And James Gunn said, "No, you're out." Goodbye, sir.
And then what did he do? All of a sudden, I love wrestling again.
Yeah, nowhere else to go.
Well, I mean, he came back when the fucking movie shit was going, like when his fucking reputation in Hollywood started failing. Because right now, everything he's touching is going to shit. The XFL, like everything he's touching is going to shit right now.
I mean,
He's doing okay. He had Moana too.
was this real that like Rock, like in his movie contracts, he could never lose a fight or something like that?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that's
crazy.
100% real.
If you notice the Vin
I
Diesel
believe that.
fight in Fast and Furious, that's why the fight ended. If you go back and watch that fight with him and Vin Diesel, where Vin Diesel was about to hit him with the wrench and shit, the ending of that fight is very weird in how it happened. Just go back and watch it.
Man, really don't like to put people over Noah.
And I get it. He's
The last
protective
time-
over. He's
the last
protective
time
over
The
his
Rock-
brand. I get that.
Yeah.
But it's starting to do more harm than good.
The
And
last
that's
time
what
The
I
Rock
meant.
put somebody over in a movie. The last time The Rock put somebody over in a movie was Doom.
No.
Well, that's
He's tone
not
deaf.
good.
He's just tone deaf right now. he just can't. Like right now, his brand is more important than the story of anything he's doing. It just doesn't. He's not reading the room.
This guy sucks.
Yeah. In wrestling,
I'll
he
say
could
this,
do
though.
no wrong.
I never thought I would live in a world. Yeah, man, I started watching wrestling in 1999. The first wrestling feud, the first one that got me into loving wrestling was The Rock and Triple H. And if you tell me 25 years later we'd be living in a world where Triple H started to look more like the good guy in the situation over The Rock, I was like, yeah, out of your damn mind. But people are slowly starting to realize that, yo, Baby Rock, you're not good for WWE right now. And
No, that's what I mean. Like he gotta like. It'd be one thing if like everything Triple H was doing was terrible, and you're like, all right, let me step in and try to course correct some of this shit. But you go back to Cody Roman and the whole fucking thing about Rock claiming he saved WrestleMania. People were excited for Cody and Roman to begin with. There was no like WrestleMania was pretty much sold out already. Like there was no like Rock saving WrestleMania narrative. That narrative was terrible. Like nobody was upset that Cody and Roman were wrestling at Mania. That's why people were upset when The Rock took his spot. If people didn't want to see Cody Roman, nobody would have got upset when The Rock took Cody's spot. Point blank. Right? Like Cena heel turn, Rock not needed. The heel turn itself is the selling point. So again, The Rock got to realize, like, bro, just because you're involved doesn't make it better. You got to pick your spots.
And I think it was you, the MG, that brought it up. They said I think you noticed in Triple H Hall of Fame speech.
He didn't mention Rock at all.
Rock.
He thanked everybody from that Attitude Era, like top tier, pretty much outside of Rock and Kane.
He didn't mention arguably his best feud.
But The Rock has his place in wrestling. It's just you got to pick your spots, bro. Like him costing, like at this point, like if he was to run down and cost Roman a match that led to a match with him and Roman, that would make a lot more sense. But The Rock has to actually embrace just being the bad guy here. Like that was the problem last year I had with him. He didn't embrace being a bad guy. He keep trying to get fucking cheap pops and be like, no, bro, go all in with it. Don't tell me you're fucking all this bullshit about I'm not a heel or I'm not a face. And no, bro. If you're going to invest, put yourself in the storyline, bro. Do it the right way. You're a heel right now. Be a fucking heel.
And here's another thing now that people also mentioned too. Last year, even though The Rock, to his credit, he pivoted and was able to work out.
Rock was all over social media promoting WrestleMania. It seemed like every day he was doing promos, all that stuff. This year, didn't say a damn thing about WrestleMania.
No. But you know, there's something to it when The Rock is going out of his way to like respond to people on like Instagram or Twitter. Same with Brian Gewirtz. They're responding to people talking about, oh yeah, this shit ain't true or that shit ain't true, and come to find out it is. The shit do be true.
Bro,
But they're going out of their way to tell people that it's not true. That tells you that they know they're fucking up.
Bro, we shit on Dave Meltzer all the time. Look, Dave Meltzer was the first one to say that. He was the first one to say that, yo, Rock is not going to be at Mania. And The Rock himself said, you're a liar.
Yeah, but at that point in time, it was because, quote unquote, The Rock had filming commitments or something. But The Rock ain't filming shit.
He ain't filming nothing right now.
So it's just one of them things where like Rock wants to do things his way, and they're not the best way for what the current landscape is, and he's tone deaf to that. Rock's place right now is as a heel corporate figure, and instead of playing into it, he's trying to work around it, and he should know better.
He of all people should know better. Yes.
He should know better.
Or maybe just that, maybe Rock is at the point where he fucking that he is embarrassed. I think, MJ, didn't you say that you think The Rock is embarrassed about his wrestling past?
He was when he first got into Hollywood. I don't think he is now.
You don't think so? You don't think he is now?
No. But I think it also plays into The Rock doesn't want to be the bad guy.
Okay.
I mean, you go look at Black Adam. Black Adam's not a good guy. But they found a way to turn that character into a good guy.
Right.
Right? Like, you look at pretty much everything he's been in. I mean, he doesn't like being the bad guy. He's worried about his brand, his reputation, blah, blah, blah. And for whatever reason, within wrestling, he just refuses to understand. Him as a bad guy right now would do far more for the company than him as a good guy. Say what you want about the past 2 years, blah, 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 whatever. Him as a good guy, him as a bad guy right now benefits the company more in terms of building up new baby faces to carry the company. The Rock ain't no fucking 30-year-old motherfucker who's gonna be there every week. Him being the baby face does nothing for the fucking company and the growth and the health of the company. So him as a bad guy right now getting over baby faces does more for the company in the business.
Bro, look what it did. Look what it did for Cody last year. It got him more over. And again, credit to The Rock for pivoting. That was amazing television The Rock was giving us last year with the Rock concert, beating Cody up in the parking lot. That was great stuff. Amazing stuff. Okay, I don't understand why Rock sees that and Mama Rhodes wiping Cody's blood on the weight belt. Great stuff. Yeah. I just don't see what The Rock's plan is. It doesn't make any fucking sense. Motionless Zombie here asks how Rock can salvage this. Okay, his idea is a roster split. Raw be the Rock show, Triple H runs SmackDown, Survivor Series War Games, Team Rock versus Team Triple H.
No, because the power struggle still would exist. Because then they're gonna fight. They're gonna fight over who's on what show.
Shit, make it do a storyline, bro.
And then the problem with that also is somebody's got to take the lesser show in SmackDown. You see the problem? Nobody's watching SmackDown.
Not right now. No.
And even if The Rock took over SmackDown, people are still going to watch Raw. People have been conditioned that Raw is the A show. And then you got to fight over roster talent. Who's on what show?
Well, I'll say this. Right now, it's going to be
best thing right now. It's for The Rock to just stay out of shit, and if shit starts to go south, then you come in and you try to give some creative input that does not involve himself. For whatever reason, the Rock's only input at this point, he keeps talking about he care about the company, this and that. The only input the Rock gives is shit that involves him. We don't hear or see the Rock talking about, yeah, man, I made this suggestion about they should do this with the tag team division. We don't hear none of that. It's all shit that involves him. So where else is he helping out?
I think the Rock only cares about himself in the main event shit. I don't think he gives a fuck about, the undercard and the mid card.
No, and that's what I mean, bro. Like all this shit about the Rock helping and this, no, he's helping himself. Because we ain't heard nothing about the Rock saying about, oh yeah, the women's division or the IC title. None of that shit.
The Rock was only on NXT like that one time where I think he was drunk, and that's another thing too. Like, and that's another thing too about the Rock. Again, this was right after. I think that was like the night after the Raw Netflix debut, right?
Yep.
And he addressed the criticism because everybody was talking about Rock. What the fuck you doing? Because remember, he showed up on the Raw Netflix. He was giving credit to Cody Rhodes, and the fans like, Rock, what the fuck you doing? And what did the Rock say? He said, shut up and enjoy the ride the Rock's going to take you on. And the Rock said he's 30 steps ahead of everybody. Rock had no fucking plan.
No. Again, it's all that shit about we know something to be true, and then the Rock comes and tells us it's not true. And that's probably the worst thing that he's done is insulting people's intelligence when we see what's happening and they just come and tell us, nope, that's not what it is. Stay tuned. You got to pay attention to the full story. We're 10 steps ahead. No, we see it. We see what's happening. Insulting the people's intelligence is not helping. It's making things worse. He just needs to step away for a minute. Like,
well, at the end of the day, Rock, I feel that the Rock sabotaged Mania to get back at Triple H and to get back at Cody Rhodes and the fans that reject them. I think that's what last weekend and that Pat McAfee interview was all about. Pretty much throw Triple H under the bus. And now that we're hearing these little things about how the power struggle backstage, problems with the roster backstage, it's going to be really interesting to see how this story develops as we go on through. But I say let's go ahead and wrap this up, fellas. But chat, let us know your thoughts. How do y'all feel about The Rock and his interview with Pat McAfee? Do you guys agree that The Rock is out for revenge against Cody and Triple H, or do you think Rock was being 100% honest and genuine? Either way, let us know your guys' thoughts. How did y'all feel about WrestleMania? What was y'all's favorite match? How you feel about WWE going forward? Let us know your guys' thoughts. Hit that like and subscribe button. I'll talk to y'all later for the PrimeTime podcast. Everyone have yourselves a great night, and we are out. Peace.
Uh-huh.